Summon Sign is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 22 of Summon Sign, Last Stand Media's weekly in-depth gaming discussion podcast. I'm your host, as always, Brad Elson. Joining me this week is Gene Park. And that's it, just Gene Park. It's a one-on-one episode today. Gene, how you doing, my friend?
Just old school Summon Sign co-op gameplay right here.
Yes,
right?
That's right, yeah.
I think it was only 2 players in Demon Souls, so...
Yeah, I can't recall. Yeah, I can't recall.
Yeah,
we'll go
I don't
with that,
think.
though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I freaked out when I saw like a second co-op player in a multiplayer. I forget though. It's Demon Souls was just so long ago.
One of them you could get 3 phantoms. Maybe that was like Dark Souls 3 or something. I don't know. It's all confusing. I can't recall. There's too much.
Yeah.
But Gene, first of all, happy Dragon Quest Day. Today, it's Dragon Quest Day today.
Is it? What's it?
It's the anniversary of it.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah, okay.
They
cool. Okay. I'm wondering. I was looking at a date, and I was like, what kind of like name does it come up with, or something, or like even like March 10 Day, Mario Day, or May the 4th, or whatever.
It's just Dragon
Quest anniversary. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I believe it's just the anniversary, but it's Dragon Quest Day. Gene, you and me are big Dragon Quest fans. So is Colin. We got a little bit of an update. Dragon Quest posted just a little teaser trailer image thing of the HD 2D 3D thing.
Oh no.
It's just like a logo. It says the legacy begins. And Gene, surprisingly, well, I guess not now with the recent news, Dragon Quest is going to be, or HD the 3 is going to be on everything, every platform, not just Switch anymore. So that makes total sense. Awesome. Love to hear it. I'm hearing people saying it's either going to be 1, 2, and 3, or they'll do 1 and 2 later. So I'm very curious about all of that. Very exciting, though.
We got trilogy, yeah.
Yeah, we got pretty much no news on Dragon Quest 12, except that they're working on it still. So we continue to suffer waiting for Dragon Quest. But at least we're getting that 3 version, because I've never played 3. Dragon Quest, I have a lot of games I haven't played yet. But
wow, I played 3 back in the day. 3 was like so far. 3 was like before Final Fantasy 4. 3 was like the game that led me into Final Fantasy 4, and I was like, whoa, like these games are getting really cool.
I heard 3's amazing. I didn't get into Dragon Quest until 8, really, just because I didn't even really know about it that well. I'd seen it every now and then, but I didn't know anyone that played it. I never played it. I never seen it in person, so I didn't really get into Dragon Quest till 8 came out, because it came with the 12 demo, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get the Final Fantasy 12 demo anyways.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. FF12, yeah.
And I fell in love with that game. I was like, wow, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Still one of my favorite PS2 games of this day. Please get that on some modern platforms, at least. Square.
Yeah, but Dragon Quest 3, DQ3 was the one that kind of like really, blew the door open for the series, and for the genre and the genre in general too.
That's what I heard, man. Yeah, I'm really excited to play it one day. We're Dragon Quest fans, though. We're used to waiting. It's just it's just the way it is, man.
And the tie with 11, right? Too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. See, so it must be pretty exciting to finally get to play that story too.
Yeah, exactly. Like when in 11, I was like, oh, I know what that is, but I didn't have the context of actually playing through 3. But that is a cool tie-in. I love that kind of stuff.
It's so cool. That ending of 11 reminded me of like how I felt at 3, where I was like, oh, it all ties together. It's great. It's
yeah, 3 was a Famicom game, right? Did we get it in the United States?
We did. It was Dragon Warrior 3.
Okay, I didn't even know we got to Dragon Warrior 3, but we didn't get 4 or 5 or 6.
I swear we went to 4, but it was definitely Dragon Warrior 3, though.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, because I remember 7 on PS1. I remember.
Yeah, I played it as Dragon Warrior 3.
But yeah, it's just me and Gene today. Today is Memorial Day. and a lot of people are busy. Totally fine. Summer Game Fest coming up. A lot of people are planning for all that kind of stuff. Gene, you're not going this year, are you?
No, you are though, right?
No, I'm not.
You're
I'm not.
not.
No, I'm taking
Whoa.
the year off. I didn't even submit anything.
Okay.
I mean, I've been to Summer Game Fest a couple times, and it is
Yeah.
good. It's like a mini E3. Have you actually been to the new one or Keeley's
Never
thing?
been to SGF. Never been to any Jeff event. I see Jeff like at least like 5 times a year for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But but it's never at one of his events. I see him all the time. Like we're
That's really
always
funny.
like hanging out, but I just never go to any of his events. He's starting to take it personal, but it's nothing personal. I keep telling him that he needs to have something out here in New York too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, SGF's cool. It's like a very tiny, intimate E3, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Is it
Like it's
tiny?
yeah,
Like is the
it's pretty
space pretty
small.
small?
It's not a
Yeah.
room or anything like that. Like last time, it was kind of like he rented out like a block almost, like multiple
Mm-hmm.
buildings.
Sure. Yeah.
But there's some big publishers. There was like Square there. There's Bandai there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's
Sega.
no first
Yeah.
part. Like none of the big three were there.
Mm-hmm.
But last year, I saw Jeff with Phil Spencer walking around. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
Phil will show some stuff there this year, which would be great. But I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed it as someone who has been E3 many times because I got
Yeah,
to
you're an
actually talk to
E3.
devs. So that
Yeah,
was
you're an
cool.
E3. You're an E3 and Summer Game Fest vet. So I guess
Hmm.
yeah, like taking the year off makes sense.
Yeah, maybe I'll try next year. But I believe Maddie and Cog will be going. So if you
That's
guys are
right.
there, make sure to say hi to them. They'd greatly appreciate it.
Is SGF open to the public now? Is
No,
it no,
no,
right?
no,
It's
no.
just
It's not.
it's only for the press, right? Yeah.
Yeah, which is nice for us when we had to do our jobs. Like I don't mind E3 being for the public. I just wish they had press days
Mm-hmm.
because it's much more difficult to do your job.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the old E3s, you could walk up to something
Mm-hmm.
and play it. You're like, oh, this looks cool. Like that's how
Yeah.
I discovered I Am Setsuna. I remember I just saw this random looking game there.
Mm-hmm.
I played it there. It was like, oh, this is awesome. But later on, you couldn't really do that. You had to have an appointment, which you could still
Yeah.
do. But like with us at Easy Eyes, there's so many less. Like I never got a Nintendo appointments ever, man. I never got to do those. I always got Square Enix though, so I'm thankful. Like we all had our categories we went to. Like
Yeah.
Huber, of course, had Capcom
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Dominating Blood, Nintendo mostly, but got to do
Yeah.
some cool stuff.
As someone who has been at E3 only like twice, but every time I hear influencers and creators talk about going to E3, they always talk about like, oh man, or even at PAX or whatever, but
Mhm.
especially E3, they're like, oh yeah, I played this game at the booth or whatever, or it was the beginning. Like I get this strong sense of like connection to a game that you feel like you discover it at the show floor, and then you're like talking to devs too, So it's like it's cool to feel like you're at the very early stages of seeing this game,
Yeah, it's
And,
not like a hipster thing by any means, listeners or anything like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh, this
yeah.
is my game. Anything like that. It's just cool. You're like, whoa, I've never heard of this game. And you're talking to these devs and they're excited to usually talk about their game because they're showing it for the first time or something. So it is a really fun experience.
Mm-hmm.
I do miss it, but it'll be nice to take a year off because I've been doing it, I think 9 years or 8 years I've been to E3s or something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm ready just to hang out as a fan again, chill at home, watch all the conferences, fuck around.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Maybe
anyway,
next year I'll try to. We'll see. I don't know if they'll if I win as Last Stand Media, I don't even know if Colin would want that, too, if they would even let me in being Last Stand Media. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess Maddie and Cog are just going through as their
themselves,
their own entities too. So
yeah, I don't know if Colin is still Voldemort for them or whatever, but it is what it is.
I doubt Jeff cares, but yeah, I doubt Jeff gives a shit.
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't know, but we'll see. It's all good. I'm gonna be happy to stay home. Gene, how you doing though? First of all, you feeling good?
Yeah, pretty good. Just getting over a long weekend and getting a lot of work done. But,
Good.
Yeah.
You had recently a feature done of you in Rolling Stone magazine. Is that correct?
Yeah. I haven't even. It's kind of wild. I still haven't even really processed it. You know, as some of you might know, I started in journalism because I wanted to get into Rolling Stone magazine in the first place. So to be featured as a writer there is pretty cool. Um, our award winning portrait photographer at the Washington Post did the pictures for that. And I haven't really read the article because it was a pretty hard interview to do.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up crying. It had to do a lot with my sickness. Mentally, I'm still going through a lot through that. As some of you may have seen, Sega 300 is out live right now, and
Mm-hmm.
I got pretty emotional at the end. So you know,
Yeah.
it's that emotion's still there. It gets pretty tough to talk about. So
Oh yeah, totally. It's a it's a
yeah,
lifelong struggle, man.
yeah.
It's like my mom had breast cancer. She has to take like a pill every day for the rest of her life.
Wow,
It's
yeah,
just like, damn, man. Those things, they just like, even when you're cancer free, sometimes you just gotta take precautions forever. It's just,
that's
it
pretty
is
much
what it
what it
is.
is. Yeah.
You
I
just
did
gotta
see
take.
someone in the comments say that they just got recently diagnosed with something,
Mm,
and my speech helped them. So
good.
yeah, man, I saw your comment. I'm really sorry to hear. Yeah, man, let's get through this together, man.
Yeah,
We'll do
totally,
this. Yeah,
totally, man. You got it. I know it's scary, but you could do it, man. You can get through it.
yeah.
Just gotta be strong. Some parts are gonna suck, but you can do it. But Gene, we got a lot to talk about actually today. Not so much on the game front. We got some games to talk about, of course. This is Summon,
Mm-hmm.
so we're gonna talk about games. But Gene, with Summer Game Fest coming up, the rumors are swirling, everything like that. The state of play, PlayStation Showcase, whatever rumors are swirling, all that good stuff. So I thought it'd be fun this episode if we talked about some of our predictions, hopes and dreams with whatever Sony's going to show. Down the line, we can do one for Summer Game Fest too, because that's always fun. But first, before we get into the show, please check us out on patreon.com/laststandmedia if you'd like to support us. We greatly appreciate it. $5 a month gets you early access to pretty much all of our shows, as far as I'm aware, and you get access to sending in your thoughts, comments, and concerns to our shows like this, Summon Sign, Defining Duke, our Xbox podcast, Sacred Symbols, our PlayStation podcast, and of course, Punching Up, our Nintendo podcast, which Gene is a permanent member of, so please check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And also, laststandmedia.store. We got some merch over there, including our brand new Summon Sign shirt for this show, our little logo on there if you want to get that shirt. I have one. It's in my dirty laundry, though, because I wore it. It is a nice shirt. I like it very
Mm-hmm.
much. All right. Gene, though, before we talk about that also, let's talk about, or PlayStation also, let's talk about some warm-up questions. First of
Mm-hmm.
all, Maxi Lopez wrote in, like you can too, on patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hi, Brad and Gene. This is more of a question for Brad, but what product do you use on your hair? It's always looking immaculate. It's important I add no homo. Sure. Um, as many of you know, I was a former hairstylist, so I do fuck around with hair stuff every now and then. Right now, I've been using a powder kind of thing. I like that it adds some texture. Here, you can see it, Gene. It adds some texture
Mm-hmm.
and a little flexibility too. My hair is technically fine, I guess, the density of it. So it's not like super thick, but it does add some volume and everything like that. So you can move it around. Like I prefer it to pomade or anything like that, like a wax you put in your hair. I personally don't like that because it's a little too shiny and oily for my hair. But that's what I've been using. If you do use it though, just use a little bit. Don't do too much. Because if you use too much, then it's gonna be rough. Start small. This one's for you, Gene. Owen wrote in, "Hey, I just wanted to say I'm a huge fan of the show and a huge Gene Park fan. I am a Korean American teacher working in Cleveland, Ohio, and
Wow.
mostly interact with Midwestern older women and 4-year-olds. I love my job, but I don't see a lot of suave men like Gene every day. And wow, Gene has, all caps, great style. I was wondering, Gene, where did your fashion sensibilities come from? Your time in DC? And the other countries you grew up in? Video game characters? Do you have any recommendations for leveling up my fashion game? Where should a young up and comer start as they enter the professional world? Thank you for providing entertainment on my drives to work each day. Love you guys." Thank you, Owen.
Yeah, his name was Owen.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Thanks, Owen. That means a lot. Yeah, I've been often called sartorially correct. It's different because I know that newspaper journalists in particular, because reminder, I come from the newspaper world. I don't
Right.
come from the games journalist world. I don't work at an office in Brooklyn and I'm all hip and everything. I work in newspapers
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of old 50-year-old, 40-year-old men like me are working, right? Uh, and we're typically not very well dressed. Newspaper dudes usually are wearing khakis and loafers and
Mm-hmm.
button down shirts and everything. So I definitely wanted to be unique in that regard. In terms of how I got my fashion sense, I've talked about this before, but I grew up reading GQ. Straight up,
Mm.
my dad would give me copies of GQ, and he would be like, "Here, this is how to be a real man. Learn through this, right?" So I would be looking at different outfits and everything, and then so I always had like a different like a sharp sense of style. Growing up, I never obviously I didn't express it until I started growing up and earning my own money, which was really nice. But
Yeah.
a lot of it is actually influenced by as you said, like there's a Korean fashion scene which is very very
Mm-hmm.
forward thinking. uh, I'm fortunate that I used to go to Korea quite a bit, so that's I was able to kind of just see how people dress and see what they're selling over there, and I would often shop there too. So a lot of the coolest clothes I have, I bought in Korea, even though I bought them like 10 years ago. They're still cool. Um, and also, like yeah, like you said, video games too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what really really inspired my sense of fashion is what were the Turks in Final Fantasy VII.
Oh shit! Yeah, they are well dressed.
Yeah, yeah. The people always used to make fun of me because I would always have two buttons like unbuttoned, like
Mm-hmm.
in my dress shirts, especially here in DC when you're supposed to be buttoning them all the way up to the neck, right? And
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah, you got to button up all the way to the neck, and I never do that. I always leave every single button unbuttoned, and people are always like, "Why are you doing that?" I say because I don't care, and because I like to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
But also it's because of the Turks. The Turks never, you're seeing like Reno's like pubic vagina bones almost, by how deep
Yeah.
his cleavage
Yeah,
goes.
that's
You
true.
know, yeah. I mean, his shirt cleavage goes pretty deep, especially in the remake, right?
Yeah, it does.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, yeah, video game characters too. And it was just ingrained in me at a very very early age. That and also
Mm-hmm.
just hanging out with a lot of women too.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of women dress me. All my girlfriends have always dressed me, and I've always liked that. Some of my
Yeah.
coolest shirts are presents from my ex girlfriends. And so yeah, it makes sense to listen to women on how to dress
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to attracting women. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
And I've always lived by that philosophy.
They enjoy
I
it too often, so let them
They
do it.
do. They ask a girl to take you shopping,
Mm-hmm.
and 99%, 95%, unless they're super busy or something, they're gonna be really really excited to go.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like fuck no homo, like just ask a girl to take you shopping, and what if it might even be a girl you'll like,
Mm-hmm.
give that a shot, and and
Yeah.
and she might be into it, and you guys will get closer together. And if you end up getting friend zoned, then at least you're dressing better, thanks to
Yeah.
her. You know,
You'll get something out of it at least.
yeah, you're gonna get something out of it. So yeah, think of it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember you said something about like or like taking care of yourself like with beauty products and fashion is very important in Korea or much more in the culture, I guess, especially for
Yeah, yeah,
men.
yeah. Like 30% of cosmetics is bought by men. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. You should take care of your skin and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Like I wear
skincare is
sunscreen every day on my face.
skincare is so important in Korea. Yeah.
Yeah, big industry for all that. But Owen, good luck out there. There's plenty you can look at. Like Gene, let's say you're like, okay, I'm gonna buy some new clothes. Where are you gonna go?
I usually go to well, these days I go to Macy's now. But I used to go to Zara.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Zara's fairly cheap and pretty hip too. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a really nice leather jacket from Zara that I
mm,
loved, but it just got like I got holes in the elbows, and I was like,
mhm.
no.
Oh man,
Finally died, but I loved that jacket.
yeah. Uniqlo is good too, especially if
Yeah,
you're Asian.
Uniqlo's like
Yeah.
pretty stylish, pretty cheap too. They're
Mhm.
Japanese, right?
Yep, they are Japanese. So, but they do have an online store, so check that out.
Mm-hmm. I
But
always get.
but be mindful of the sizes because they
I was
might
gonna
be
say.
doing they might be doing Asian sizes. So if you're like a medium, then you might want a large, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I like don't know. Like there's this I think they're called Super something. Anyway, they're this Japanese brand, but they had like a bunch of Bloodborne attire,
Hmm.
like Bloodborne inspired
Hmm.
attire. Like I have this watch actually from them. It's hard to see, but it's a Bloodborne hunter
Oh
watch.
man.
But I wanted to buy some of their clothes, but I was like, oh man, I just don't know if any of it would fit. I get paranoid about buying clothes online
Hmm.
because I just don't know if it'll fit right. So
Yeah.
I'm always careful about all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I bought some jeans and it totally didn't fit at all.
Yeah, jeans pants are rough, man.
Pants are tough. Yeah, I just bought them off Amazon. I was like, yeah, I could use a new pair of jeans, and I don't feel like going to the jean store
Yeah,
to try on some jeans,
yeah,
and I realized, yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
yeah. I buy a lot of my clothes at J Crew. Like
Mm.
a lot of my pants are from J Crew. Just some of my plain T-shirts. They're a
Mhm.
little more expensive, but I think the quality's good. I'd rather pay a little more for something good quality that's not
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
like rip or whatever, or stretch too much.
Yeah,
But
that's the
yeah,
thing about like fashion too. If you do pay more, yeah, obviously you're paying for the brand, and it does sound like you're ripping off.
hmm
But honestly, a lot of these brands do a lot of work into making sure that their stuff is quality and lasts long.
yeah. I
And I've
wonder
always
how.
found that to be true. So.
Yeah, I wonder how good quality like really high fashion brands are. I have no idea because I've never like worn anything from them.
Well,
But
yeah,
like
I remember I'm the guy with Louis Vuitton flip flops.
oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. How are the
Yeah,
flip flops? Are they high quality? You'd say.
yeah, I've been wearing them for like 11 years. They're still
Oh,
good.
that's good. Okay, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
sometimes you get you pay for.
yeah, I paid $900 for it, but
Holy shit.
I've never had to own another pair of flip flops ever again.
Okay, well, yeah. But yeah, I actually like clothes a lot, so I enjoy all that kind of stuff. Like I'm the one that wants to go shopping for clothes in my relationship. I'm always like,
Yeah, there you go.
let's check
Yeah.
this out. Like when we were in New York, Gene, me and Kristen went to Saks Fifth Avenue. Because we're like, oh,
Mhm.
it's actually Saks on Fifth
The
Avenue.
one on Fifth Avenue. Yeah,
Yeah,
you should
because there's a
go. Yeah.
Saks Fifth Avenue by me, but it's not the real one. We went in it and just explored it. Holy shit. That was insane, dude. I've never
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
more out of place. Like I am too poor to be here.
Yeah, yeah. I've also, obviously I've shopped Louis Vuitton before, but
Mm-hmm.
there is a point where the one coworker had a beautiful white coat on it, on him. He looked like fucking Rufus, right? Just black, he looked like Black Rufus shit, right? It was
Yeah.
awesome. So I was like, dude, where'd you get your coat? And he told me where he got the coat. And without thinking, I just went right to the store like after work. And then it turns out that the store sells like $10,000, $20,000 coats, and the
Yeah.
coat I wanted was $15,000. And then as soon as they walk in, they're like, "Would you like a whiskey, sir?" I'm like, "No, no, thanks. I'm sober." I'm like, "Oh fuck, they're offering whiskey here." I was
Yeah,
like,
you're fucked.
"Yeah." As soon as I realized that, I was like, "Oh fuck!" And then I found my code, and it was like $15,000. I was like, "Yep, nope, I'm not can't
Yeah, no,
afford
no,
that,
no, no.
not at all. Not that's a fucking car, man."
Yeah, that's a car. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I can't see myself ever spending that much money. I don't know. I've never had that much money where I felt like I could spend that anyways.
yeah. I don't
But
think I've ever had $15,000 ever. So
well, like I've never had
I
enough
bought a
money
car
where I'm
with one. That's
yeah,
fine.
right. I just have never
Yeah.
been that wealthy where I'm like, oh, that sounds fine.
Yeah.
$10,000. I don't know, like just a different world than what I'm used to.
Yeah, yeah. Like I was just in Vegas, and you always see people just bet there. They're like, "Oh, I lost $10,000." They're like, "How
Yeah.
do you just like
I would be
lose ten
so
thousand?
pissed.
Yeah, how do you lose $10,000 casually? Like I'm fucked for like 5 months if I lose that.
Yeah.
Not even
It's
5 months, like
funny.
3 months.
Yeah, and I don't got a problem with people do all that stuff. They can do whatever they want with their money. It's just I've never I don't know. I just can never picture myself doing that, but who
Yeah, I
knows?
wish.
Maybe when I win the lottery one day, I'll feel
Hmm.
different. We got to will that into existence. Okay, Gene, let's talk about some video game stuff actually. Let's talk about, that PlayStation showcase
Is
kind
it
of
a
came up.
showcase or a state of
We
play?
don't know. We're not
And
sure.
and showcase is the higher tier of,
Showcase is usually first party kind of stuff.
right? Yeah, state of play is just like whatever, right?
And
So
yeah, save play is usually like more third party, but there are
sure.
both sometimes
Yeah,
it carries
there might
over.
be first party stuff, but showcase is like this is
Yeah,
like
showcase to me is the expectation of we're going to show you first party stuff at
mhm,
least
yeah.
kind of stuff. So, but I think the last one was kind of around this time last year, the end of May. So it's Monday right now for us. So we still got a long way to go through the week, but there's nothing announced yet. But I thought it'd just be fun to kind of speculate what's going to appear at here. What are we hoping to appear? Gene, let's just start with you. Let's start with realistic stuff. What do you expect from first party? Let's not to get too crazy. What are you expecting though?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a rumor of Astros, right? A new Astros
Yes, Astro's
Playroom,
Playroom.
which is very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Little disappointing that Sony doesn't consider it a major first party franchise if that's the case. Because the other thing that makes it tricky is that Sony themselves have said that they're not going to be any major first party games until March 2025, right? So
Well, it may not come out. They could show it, but it might not come out till that time.
yeah. Um, so whatever we are having in showcase isn't going to come out until after March, until after next
If
year.
it's a
So.
sequel or an established IP, at least.
Yeah. So it could be a new IP, right? So I don't know. Who knows?
They could.
Maybe we can finally see something about Concord.
Yeah, I think Concord's supposed to come out this year still,
Mhm.
and we haven't seen anything about it.
Yeah, all we've seen is that cheeseburger, right?
Yeah, the spaceship thing.
Yeah, the jiggly cheeseburger.
Yeah. So I don't like it. It's just gonna be a multiplayer game, I guess, live service. I'm very curious about it. I hope it's good. I don't know. It's hard to get excited about it just based off that CG trailer and with the amount of live service multiplayer games trying to get your attention. But it could be great. Helldivers was a huge hit for them, so maybe this could do well.
Mhm.
Gene, what do you think about Sucker Punch? You think Ghost of Tsushima 2, now's the time?
Yeah, it's been enough time.
Yeah.
So I do feel like that we probably would see like a preview of it, if not coming out this year, then maybe next year.
I think coming out next year, yeah.
I think coming out next year, yeah. Because I feel like that would be enough time.
Yeah. Ghost came out 2019, I believe, in the
2019,
summer.
yeah.
But they did the DLC.
No, 2020. It came out.
Was it 2020?
Right around.
Oh, it
The
was
Last
the
of
end
Us
of.
2.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. The
It
only
was
reason why I
2020.
remember that is because everyone was bitching about The Last of Us 2, and then everyone went to go play. Everyone went to go play Ghost of Tsushima, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is a real video game," like a video game that doesn't hate their main character or whatever.
Yeah.
or that was a criticism. I mean, that was a criticism. Everyone was just so mad about what happened in The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
That goes to Tsushima was kind of like the healing salve for people who were just really
Man, I need to
2020.
I need to play The Last of Us Part 2 sometime. I played I played when it came out, but I haven't felt the desire to go back.
Wait, you never played Last of Us 2?
No, I did.
Okay.
I played it when it came out. I actually got spoiled on it too. I was like, fuck.
Yeah. I dove deep into those spoilers. I went right into 4chan and looked them up myself.
Damn.
So.
That was a crazy ass leak, dude. Wow.
That was crazy. I still think people keep saying, like, oh, GTA 6 or the Sony leaks are more damaging. I still think the most damaging was The Last of Us 2, because that straight up caused people to not buy the game at all.
Yeah, it did hurt a lot. I think a lot of people got turned off by that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I saw the leak, I was like, "Fuck, man, why?"
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, even me, I thought, before I played the game, I thought, yeah, that sounds fucking stupid,
hmm
what a horrible story. I don't want to play that. And then I looked at the scenes that were leaked, and I was like, fuck, I don't want this.
hmm
Yeah, and the only reason why I played it is because I was working.
yeah,
But imagine if I was a regular consumer, I might have just not bought The Last of Us Part Two.
yeah, yeah,
And I love The Last of Us Part Two.
yeah. I
I
think
ended up loving it,
I
but
thought the gameplay was super good in part two.
yeah, the gameplay was so good. Which is why, and we can talk about this more later, but like a lot of people compare Neil Druckmann to what they did in Hellblade 2. And I'm like, no, no, but Naughty Dog games are games, though, man.
Yeah, they're
If
very
you play The Last of Us Part Two, you can be a crack shot at The Last of Us Part Two. You can be a
yeah,
skilled player at that game.
yeah. They play way different. You have so much more flexibility in Last of
Mhm.
Us. It's not. I mean, I would
Mhm.
not even compare them just because they're cinematic in ways they play
Yeah,
nothing
just
like.
just because they both have screaming girls as like the main character doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything.
It's just-
So
yeah, that's true, man.
yeah.
But yeah, hopefully Ghost 2. I love Ghost of Tsushima. That was great.
I'm playing that on PC.
Mm-hmm.
Just a reminder of how great that game was. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I saw PC Gamer got ratioed for calling in the slow start. It was a slow start, guys. Ghost of Tsushima starts pretty slow. Obviously, there's the Mongol War. That's just a
Yeah.
tutorial, but that's just like the first like 5 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
Like
I
the
don't
first hour of the game
recall.
gets pretty slow when you're like getting the bow and
Sure,
like
yeah. I
what's her
recall
face.
like not being annoyed by it though. I don't
It
have a
wasn't
problem usually with slow starts. You know what I
It
mean?
wasn't that
Like,
annoying because it was tutorializing and it's getting you into the world. It's annoying now, like that
mm,
I'm playing on PC because I already know the fucking game.
yeah, sure.
But yeah, like it wasn't that bad at the beginning, but it was a fairly
Yeah.
slow start. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll definitely replay it when they announce 2. I think I'm waiting for that. Because they
mm.
added lethal mode too, so I really want to try that out.
Yeah,
Because I mean, I reviewed it when it came out, and it didn't have like multiplayer, which the multiplayer is actually really fun. I was
it's fun. Yeah,
surprised.
I played it for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually really fun. So I'm looking forward to revisiting it. And Iki Island, I actually thought I really like also. That was a really good expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we get something from them soon. Because Sucker Punch is great.
Mm-hmm.
Other first party though, Gene. Who do you
Yeah, I
think?
don't
Do you think
know.
Naughty Dog's ready for their other game?
Yeah, because Naughty Dog has canceled like 3 things already in the past year, right?
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I honestly don't know. Sony's been so quiet. Everyone's been so quiet on the Sony side. Like I feel like Ghost of Tsushima and Naughty Dog are probably the obvious candidates, and
Mm-hmm.
Insomniac needs to just kind of like. Maybe we might see Venom too, or not Venom 2, but Venom.
Also,
Because
yeah,
Venom should
yeah.
Venom should be close to ready.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's true. We could see Venom. Yeah, I'm
uh,
just trying to think of like first party off the top of my head.
Venom would be exciting. I would need to see like Venom swinging gameplay because the Venom gameplay in Spider-Man 2 was so limited
Mm-hmm.
that it's hard. Like if it's just like that again, that would definitely
Mm-hmm.
be disappointing. But obviously, they would probably give us free roaming Venom, which would be very very cool. Um,
What about What about Wolverine though?
I saw the leak. I saw the leaked
Oh, I didn't look
Wolverine.
at them. I was like, I don't want to
Oh,
know.
I saw that stuff. It looks cool, I guess.
Yeah.
It pretty much looks like. Honestly, it kind of looked like the Venom gameplay from Spider-Man 2 a little
Hmm.
bit. Just kind of jumping from place to place and just kind of
Shredding dudes.
just shredding people apart, like air juggle combos and everything like that. Honestly, I'm getting pretty tired of Marvel though.
I've
So
been, dude. I've been
you
very
know,
tired of Marvel for a long time.
yeah. So that leak was really disappointing, in that I don't know if I can if I can muster up any more excitement for Marvel Insomniac. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm like not excited, but I'll probably play them when they come out. But I'm not like, yes, let's go. I know they'll be good games probably because Insomniac's
yeah,
a great developer. But yeah, it's not like I'm just not super into that IP. It's like I guess you with Star Wars, you're just like not really interested.
Were you ever interested in Marvel superheroes,
I
or
liked
was that a
I
big thing
liked the
for you?
movies. I wasn't as big as into them
The
as many people
comics?
were.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
not
the
even the movies.
comics.
Yeah.
I never was big into comics growing up,
Mm.
but I had like a lot of Marvel cards, like trading cards
Oh yeah, for
growing
sure.
up. Like I don't know if you might remember. There was these cards that you would get like 9, 3, 3, 3. They'd stack up and they'd make one big picture of like all these
Oh,
characters together. I think I might still have some of
oh, I
them. I'll have to
remember
show.
those. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
had a lot of
Oh man,
those.
holy shit, that
Yeah,
was so crazy.
we collected those.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
I liked the X-Men cartoon when I was a kid, though. Like many
Mm,
kids our age and all that stuff.
mm,
Batman was always my favorite, though.
mm-hmm,
The animated series, of course, and Batman's the
mm.
only superhero I actually really care about. That
Sure.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
superheroes, I'm just not as into. I was
Okay,
much
that
more.
that makes sense, and especially if you weren't into the MCU that much, like
Hmm.
already, then that makes sense. Because I was pretty into the MCU. I was actually,
Yeah,
oh
like I saw the movies and stuff. I was like, oh, these are fun, but that
yeah,
was it. That was the extent of it. I didn't own any of them. I wasn't re-watching any of them. Stuff like that.
yeah. So I grew up with comics. I
Hmm.
was huge into Spider-Man. I was huge into, like, like I read the Infinity Gauntlet saga. So when I heard that Thanos was going to be the bad guy in the first Avengers, I was like, oh shit, they're
Yeah,
actually going
that's
to do
sick.
Infinity Gauntlet. And so like I was like the
Yeah,
fanboy in me was super excited. And then after Endgame was just a dream come true. It was
yeah. Endgame was
incredible.
good. I was really
You
happy
know.
how it turned out. So I'm glad it
So
turned out good for all the fans too.
yeah, so like several years ago, if you told me that Insomniac was going to be like the Marvel developer, I would have been so excited. I'd be like, oh, they're perfect, especially after
Hmm.
Spider-Man 1. And after, after Marvel Spider-Man 1, the Insomniac game, I was still pretty high on Marvel in general, right? And like Endgame still hadn't come out yet at that time, too. So I didn't feel like Marvel was already being oversaturated.
Hmm.
But at this point, I just feel like it's over, and like the more I get away from Spider-Man 2, the more I dislike the game in general.
Hmm.
Especially with man, those Insomnia leaks do suck, in that they did retroactively damage my appreciation for Spider-Man 2.
Hmm.
Because when you see what they were working on, did you see it? You didn't see those leaks, right? Uh,
I mean, I saw like the leaked titles of the games coming out, but I didn't
sure,
see
yeah, but you didn't
anything
see the
else.
gameplay of Spider-Man 2,
No,
right?
no.
Yeah, they had destructible environments in Spider-Man 2.
Ooh,
So Venom and Spider-Man were both crashing into buildings, and the buildings were falling apart. And like, there was like room to room like fighting, and
wow.
yeah, like there was just debris everywhere. So when you hear about Spider-Man 2 costing $333 million, it sounds like part of it was they were trying to experiment, and they just couldn't make
Hmm.
it work.
Workshopping.
But for me, it's like, we talk about Hellblade 2, and how short of a game that was. I want people to be clear. My problem with Hellblade 2 was never the length. I would love a Spider-Man 2 that was 8 hours long, and has super destructible environments.
Hmm.
Um,
Sure.
Instead of a Spider-Man 2 that was like 30 hours long. It was actually a pretty long story,
Hmm.
surprisingly.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
So, but yeah, Insomniac. I don't know.
Great
Yeah,
developer, just not excited about Marvel right now.
yeah. So that's why it's like, yeah, I'll be excited for Venom, because I'm still a fan of
Yeah,
Spider-Man, and
Venom's cool.
it'll be cool to see what they do with Venom.
Hmm.
Wolverine, yeah, for some reason, it's hard for me to get excited about that, because
Sure.
Wolverine was my favorite like Marvel character for
Oh
the
yeah,
longest
everyone
time.
loves Wolverine. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's like, yeah, he's everyone's favorite guy. He's like the cool guy who doesn't give a shit.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm trying to
Yeah, what
think
else is
who
there though? There's
for
Ben
first
Ben
party.
Studio, I guess. They've been
Bend, yeah, they've been got quiet for a
they've been
while.
they've been quiet for forever.
Yeah, I wonder what their next game is. They could show up. Um,
So it
I
is
think
an
it's
exciting time, like where anybody could show up, because
yeah,
everyone besides Insomniac has been quiet.
yeah. We
Blue
don't know a
Point,
lot. Yeah, Blue Point.
Blue Point has been working on new IP. And
Mm-hmm.
they're really excited about that. It's
Yeah.
probably not Bloodborne, sadly.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think it's Bloodborne. If anything, I
Yeah.
think Bloodborne's more of a next year is its anniversary, its 10-year anniversary.
Mm.
Maybe something around then, or just PS6 at this point, dude. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. But yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Oh yeah, I wonder if they'd make a Souls-like, or I wonder what they would make. Interesting. But yeah, I would kind of want to talk about some third-party games. Silent Hill 2 seems like will be
Silent Hill
here.
2. Yeah.
I'm assuming the date also for the game. It sounds like Bloober Team's been ready.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been on Konami, so hopefully we'll get that. I'm excited for it. I like Silent Hill 2. I don't love Silent Hill 2 as much as everyone else does, but I do like it. So I'm down to play remake, even if it's pretty janky in some spots, but it is what it is. I'll still play it.
Yeah, I love Silent Hill 2 about as much as anyone else could.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like it's so sacred that I wouldn't play just a crunchy third-person action version of it too.
Totally.
I'd be fine with that. Whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider it great. I wouldn't consider, or by any means, but whatever. Silent Hill is fine. If a lot of people know this is about me. I'm over the Silent Hill franchise. I think they should just kill it. It's over. How many times can you tell a story about a town that haunts people's nightmares, and like every game is about people's traumas and inner darkest secrets already. So whatever Silent Hill was doing that was unique back then is not really unique now.
Sure. Yeah.
So.
That makes me think about Slitterhead. Maybe we'll see something from them. That's like, I believe, a lot of the old Team Silent people. And what was that other PS3 game? I forgot what it was called. Siren, that was it. Yeah, Siren, a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
And that game got announced a while ago, so hopefully we'll see something from them.
Yeah.
A big question mark for me, Gene, is Square Enix. Now that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is out, maybe Kingdom Hearts 4 time. Seems like they may be ramping up for something.
It's got to be Kingdom Hearts 4, especially with the Steam releases just announced. Feels like it's a good time to trickle out a little information about what Sora is doing next, and what Star Wars universe is Sora going to be?
Return of the Jedi. That's what it'll be. And but yeah,
are you sure?
I would love to see.
Do you know that it's Return of the Jedi?
Well, the teaser they showed was in the forest, and there was an ATST foot.
That's right.
So I'm going to assume that's Endor.
Yeah,
but who knows? They could pull a fast one. You never know with Nomura. But Square Enix, I really wonder what else they're going to do off the top of my head. Kingdom Hearts 4 is like the main thing, obviously, me and many others are looking forward to. Maybe that Final Fantasy Tactics, that long rumored Final Fantasy Tactics remaster, remake.
FF9.
FF9, also a good one.
We know that's going to happen sooner or later.
So I would like to see that. Yeah, 9, they got to be ramping up for something with 9 soon, because the Final Fantasy 14 expansion,
that's right,
the deluxe edition or whatever, comes with the wind-up Zidane figure. And I believe Yoshi P said there's like a reason, but it's a secret why it's Zidane. So we'll see. But I'm really looking forward to that. Final Fantasy 9 is my second favorite Final Fantasy. So I'm very. They're remaking my favorite ones.
Vivi's right there at the back.
Yeah, Vivi's right there. I wish I had a Steiner doll. I love Steiner too.
Oh, Steiner's great. Yeah,
Steiner doesn't get the love though.
FF9 has such great characters, that's for sure.
Yeah, it does. That's very cool.
I did start a new run of FF9 a couple months ago, or maybe a little bit last year. And I stopped it because a bunch of other games came out, obviously. But
yeah, of course.
It was definitely reminding me of how much I love the story and the characters.
Yeah, it's like a very charming.
The music is so good too.
Yeah, it's like a very charming, like storybook kind of feel in that game. Just the character designs and everything like that. Everyone's got big heads and stuff.
I love it. Yeah,
it's great.
This is going to be my favorite. This is probably I remember when it was coming out, and I was so grateful for it. FF9, because I didn't like back then, like FF7, FF8 were so anime and so like
futuristic.
Yeah, futuristic and sci-fi. So I was really, FF9 was made for people like me back then.
Yeah, man, late PS1 game, really fun game. I definitely remember faking sick, staying home and playing that game. and using the strategy guide was you had to go like playonline.com. It was so bad, dude.
Oh, I remember that. Holy
It was
crap.
so bad.
Yeah, this is like right when the internet was beginning, so people were
Yeah.
trying to figure out like engagement on the internet back then
Yeah.
too.
And I had shitty dial up, so well, most people did anyways, so it's just a struggle. But
Mhm.
good times regardless. But Capcom also, Gene. Resident Evil, maybe. I don't know. The rumor is 9 got pushed back
Yeah.
to the end of next year, possibly
RE1 remake.
2026.
RE1 remake. You keep hearing about
I
that?
think that's so. What I've heard is that it's Code Veronica and Zero are the ones that are next. RE1 remake, I'd be down with. I just can't see that happening quite yet. But I mean, RE1 remake's like my favorite survival horror game of all time. So if they remake it, sure, whatever, I'll play it. I'm sure it'll be fun.
Yeah, I hope they make it in like RE Village where it's first person and third person, because I think I would like it for it to be third person, but I would also love RE1 to finally become first person, which was the original intent for it, right?
Oh, sure, yeah. I think it'd
Yeah,
be cool just for VR purposes.
exactly too. Yeah, obviously VR purposes too.
Like, I'm fine with that as first. I think it, in my opinion, it needs third person as like the main thing, but first person is like a additional thing. Sure,
as a
I'm
bonus.
totally down with it.
Yeah. RE Village did a really good job with
I
balancing
never
the
played
first.
the third person mode.
Yeah, I never finished it, but I got pretty far with it. Yeah, it's really really good the way they switch up the animation and everything. So you can definitely do something like that.
That's
too.
crazy. They just added that later, man. Resident Evil is such a weird franchise, but I love that. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter could be.
Monster.
They could show Wilds. That's gonna be a very big game for them. I'm sure it's gonna sell a lot. I love Monster Hunter, so I'm very excited for that. Anything else from Capcom you can think of? I know they're gonna probably Kusuragami. I forgot how you say it. Path of the Goddess or whatever.
Yeah, the Xbox Game Pass game.
Mm-hmm.
That could be fun too. Yeah.
Yeah, could be fun. I was hoping it was Onimusha like everyone else when we first saw it, but that's okay. I'll take something new. I'm down with that. I can't think of any of the third parties off the top of my head right now. Anything you could think of? No. Yeah,
Really.
I don't think there's going to be like GTA there or anything like that. It's too early.
No. Yeah, GTA is going to be its own thing now.
Yeah, they'll do their own thing, whatever the hell they want.
They don't care. They know that they're going to be selling Xbox Series X's and PS5s now.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they've seen the data, they're like, oh, they're waiting for our game. Like everyone.
Oh yeah.
Everyone who's still on PS4 and Xbox One, they're waiting for GTA.
That's the game to get people to buy your next hardware or whatever. Totally.
Yeah.
People will buy PlayStation 5s or Xboxes for that, no question.
Yeah. It's a Breath of the Wild for normies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Totally. Just from small games, I'm really hoping to see and get a date for Little Devil Inside. I've been waiting for that game for a long time, so I would like to see that. And Hollow Knight, I think if they do that, it'll be at Xbox, but
the Xbox has a marketing deal for that one. Yeah.
I think it's time, man. This feels like the year more than it has ever, I guess, for a long time. Because I think they revealed in 2019. I remember seeing it on the show floor at E3, but that feels like an eternity ago.
It's always so random whenever Xbox has a marketing deal. Like Elden Ring was revealed in an Xbox event.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. I think Dark Souls 3 was also.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And they got all those Sega games too.
Yeah.
All the Like a Dragons, Metaphor. Well, they have Game Pass, so they probably paid up for all of them. But I wonder how long that'll go on if they'll just try to get every Sega game. Or most of them. They didn't get Infinite Wealth.
They didn't. Yeah, they only had 7. Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, for can't really think of anything else.
Maybe Sega didn't want to do that anymore. They're
maybe.
Yeah, and it sold great too. As far as Yakuza series standards go. So,
Yeah. I wonder how long they'll continue.
Mine has sold more than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, as far as we fucking know.
Maybe. Yeah, because it's on multiple platforms and
it's on multiple platforms, and then they actually announced it versus
yeah. I really wonder. Because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth kind of has like a steep barrier of entry. Because, you have to play remake. But I wonder, Like a Dragon's kind of like that also. I haven't played Infinite Wealth, so I don't know. But maybe it's not as important.
Yeah. I think the Rebirth sales are because I think people just didn't like remake. I think
Maybe.
they're just like, yeah, I'm just not into this
Yeah,
concept.
it's possible.
Yeah, I think they just like, yeah, just
I am
go with
really
that.
curious to see. I want hard numbers on that game someday. And
I
16.
do too. Yeah, I feel bad because I actually started playing again for a little bit. And I'm like, man, this game is so fucking great.
Yeah, Rebirth's amazing.
It's still game of the year for me.
Yeah, me too right now. I mean, it'll probably be my game of the year anyways, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
Well, Shadow of the Erdtree might be it. So,
Yeah, Shadow Urchi is going to be definitely one of my favorite experiences of the year.
mm-hmm.
I go with the Keeley standards where can't
Mm.
have DLC be game of the year,
Mm.
even though it might be the highest quality thing because
Yeah.
it's from software and they always kill it. All right, Gene, let's hear from the listeners a little bit. Damian Priest wrote in, "Hey fellas, call me crazy, but I think Cory Barlog's new game will be shown at the end of the PlayStation Showcase as
Mm.
one last thing moment. That's my big prediction and pretty confident it's gonna happen." That's a good point, Damien.
Yeah.
They've been
We didn't
working
even
on that
think.
game for a while.
Yeah, we didn't even think about that. We didn't talk
Yeah,
about
we
that.
didn't think about that. So nice pull. I would love to see that. I mean, I like God of War and stuff, but I want to see them do something else too. So
Yeah, I was the other director. I forget his name already. Great guy though. But he was talking
yeah,
about,
he's
yeah,
nice.
yeah, he's super nice and talented. But he was like, I wouldn't mind if we became the God of War studio. I was like, no, don't say that, man. you know.
Yeah,
But
Eric
he
Williams.
also said that I love to do Castlevania. I was like, okay, there you go. That's kind
Yeah,
of
that was me. I
yeah.
talked to him about that.
Oh no shit, yeah, that's
I
dope.
interviewed him with Mike Huber actually, and I asked
Yeah,
him because we were
yeah,
talking about Blasphemous,
I watched that. Yeah, I watched that interview. Yeah, okay.
and I was like, "Yeah, hypothetically, would you want to do that?"
Hmm.
He's like, "I don't want to say anything because I don't want any expectations." I was like, just hypothetical kind of thing
Hmm.
because he loves Castlevania too. So I was like, "Hell yeah, dude! I would love to see you
Yeah,
make a
man.
Castlevania game. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome."
yeah. Just steal the Chains of Olympus gameplay. It's
Yeah,
all
you
good.
got the chops for it. They
It's
totally
all
got the
good.
chops for
Yeah,
that.
just do
Yeah,
that. It's fine. Yeah.
yeah. From Software's not going to do it. You guys do it. All right, this is from Ember's Arcade. Dream announcement. Bloodborne, obviously. A Blue Point remake in the style of Demon Souls? Unlikely, but that would be a dream. Otherwise, a re-release with performance improvements would be welcomed. I just want to hear the word Bloodborne during the showcase. Fingers crossed, cheers. Yes, Ember, you and all of us as well. Bloodborne, of course, we all want. I've given up on just waiting for it. If it happens, cool, but I'm not going to torture myself expecting it ever.
I've given up
Because
waiting for it too. Something's up with that license.
something is
That
up with Bloodborne. It's very strange how they're handling
yeah,
it.
yeah. Just something is strange with that license in general.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything that we can really see right now.
Yeah, I'm not expecting it, but hopefully it'll come back someday because the world would celebrate. There'd be some major healing going on with everyone, dude. That would be a glorious moment on Twitter or whatever. Just everyone would be so happy for once.
Yeah, yeah, and Kai Cenat said that he's going to be playing Bloodborne too.
Oh,
So,
really? That's
you
interesting.
know, that's only going to elevate that game's profile like even further to
Yeah,
like
that's
millions of
great.
people.
I mean, yeah, that's what I want from the series. I want it to grow more and more and get more people involved. So that
Mhm.
makes me really happy that he enjoyed it and probably introduced it to a ton of new people. So great.
Yeah. He's playing Sekiro, Bloodborne, and the Dark Souls
Oh
trilogy.
shit, he's hooked now. That's
Yeah, no,
awesome.
he is locked in. He's gonna play every
That's
single game
awesome.
now. That's crazy.
That is awesome.
He's gonna be so tired. Like I don't know if I could do that, but I mean, then again, he did play Elden Ring for 100 hours straight,
Yeah,
or
that's insane shit. I could not
160
do that.
hours straight. So yeah,
I
he
mean,
could do
maybe
it.
if I got paid as much as him, I could definitely muster it. But
That's true. Yeah, if I was a millionaire,
yeah,
if that ended up, if I knew that I was gonna be a millionaire by the end of me playing Elden Ring for 150 hours straight, then
yeah,
yeah, no problem. I'd do
lock
that.
in. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
You want me to play this glorious video game? Sure.
Yeah. Oh no, I have to play Elden Ring
Yeah.
again.
Oh no, dude. This is an interesting one. This is from Nick B. Levelt. Hot take. I don't want there to be a PlayStation showcase. I just want there to be a state of play. The same people asking to see all these first party games are then going to be upset that they're all CG trailers for games that are that are 2027 at the earliest. Just have Herman Hulse, Sean Benson, Shuhei, etc. go over 10 to 15 games that have confirmed dates for this year, making sure it does feel like there's some variety and not just AAA and live service. Well, I mean, they could show stuff that's 2025, obviously. I definitely think there's going to be 2027 games, obviously. That's like bordering on PS6 territory, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But I get you, Nick. You want to see stuff and you want it to be relatively soon. That makes total sense.
We definitely don't want like an Xbox situation where
no,
Xbox like fucking showed Hellblade 2 like right alongside the announcement of Xbox Series X, and it's like, okay, well there's an expectation there. Like they kind of did that with Fizzant and Kojima, you know?
Yes, they did. They did.
But in a way, it kind of worked on me though, because it's like, okay, if Kojima's stealth action espionage game is a PlayStation exclusive, then I'm locked in for PlayStation 6. Absolutely, you know.
Yeah.
I'm buying a PS6 for that. So
yeah, I guess what softened the blow of that for me, Gene, is that Death Stranding 2 is coming before that at least. So it's like, okay, well at least I got I'm excited. I know your next game is that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Death Stranding 2 is probably next year, so it's not too far away.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Seemed like a very movie move, kind of very Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Here's this thing coming out in the future, like when Marvel would show their whole lineup or stuff, like 4 years away.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, Death Stranding. You're right though. I forgot about Death Stranding too. I mean, we might see more of that too this summer. It is Keeley again.
I was gonna say Keeley probably wants it. Yeah. I wonder what. Oh man, Fizzant sounds so cool, dude. I'm so happy. I mean, I love Death Stranding. Don't get me wrong. I really like Death Stranding. So, but just a new stealth espionage game from Kojima.
Yeah. I'm not mad that he was like, you know what? I'll just give the people what they want. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. He's doing a lot of side stuff, anyways. Mm-hmm. Whatever OD is going to be.
Yeah, whatever the fuck OD is going to be. So
it's probably going to be much more of a movie, I would say, than a game. That's what it seems like.
And it's going to be on Xbox, right? Mm-hmm. Like. Why is Xbox the movie artsy publisher now? Because first Hellblade 2 is going to be like watch OD is going to be a 5-hour experience where we just watch a bunch of white people scream at the camera for like 5 hours. Because that's all we fucking know about the game.
Yeah, that's all we know. Right? Yeah,
it's just various Europeans like yelling at the camera right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, what is the rest of the experience? And it's going to be an experience. And it's like, oh, God, what the fuck is it going to be? And why is Xbox providing all of these?
I don't know.
Like, shut the fuck up. Give me a Gears of War game. You know, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, we got to see a Gears of War game. It's been a long time since 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring Gears back, man. Yeah. Make Gears great again. All right, this is from Nevitz. Hey, someone, guys. It'll never happen, but I'm waiting for Capcom to break the emergency glass and make Power Stone 3. I would do anything to finally get that game. I think that'd be my dream PlayStation announcement. I love how you say the emergency glass is Power Stone 3.
We're fucked. Resident Evil, Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, all.
It's Power Stone 3, man.
It's time for Power Stone 3, baby.
I mean, Power Stone coming back would, of course, be awesome.
Yeah.
But breaking the glass is so funny to me.
That's such a funny way to put it. When Power Stone is like the most like indie rock band like video game of all time. Like,
oh yeah. Oh man, Power Stone was so fun.
And that feeling of like Power Stone not being mainstream is just like amplified by how I played it, because I was like homeless in California, like living in my friend's garage, and with a Dreamcast and like burnt like power. But I didn't even have Power Stone; it just burnt CDs.
Oh, that's what everyone's Dreamcast collection was at a point.
Exactly,
it was just all burned CDs.
Yeah, it was so cool.
It was cool.
I could just play burned CDs. It was so fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was. What a time, dude.
Yeah.
What an insane time that was.
like no wonder why the console failed, I guess.
No wonder it fucking died.
Yeah, I guess.
God, I regret not buying one when they were like fire sailing them,
Yeah.
When they were like $100 or some shit. It's like, fuck, I should have bought one.
Oh, you don't have one?
No, I never had a Dreamcast. The only Sega console I ever had was Genesis.
Mm.
When Dreamcast was out, a couple of my friends had it, so I just played at their house because I was like, I'm going to wait for PS2
Sure.
because
Yeah.
I knew Square Enix RPGs were going to be on there. So I was like,
Yeah,
I'll
for
just
sure.
wait.
Yeah.
But Dreamcast was amazing. I love that console. It's so good. Let's see. It's from Robbie. Oh, I like this. Nice list. Hello, Gene and Brad. My predictions for the upcoming showcase. Number 1, PlayStation Pro reveal and price. Seems too early to me, but I like that. Number 2, Bloodborne PS5 Pro Enhanced. You don't even need Pro Enhanced. You see, it's fucking PS5 version.
It's a PS5 version, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Just give us a version that you would have played 4 years ago. You know?
Yeah. Just unlock the frame rate or something. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
New Astrobot game that's both standalone and PSVR 2 compatible. I think that'd be the smart move to do.
That'd be
for
cool.
That game.
Yeah.
At least one game available to play the day of the showcase. That's always fun. I don't know how well that does financially make sense, but I always enjoy that. It's always exciting.
Yeah.
New controller and console cover colors. That seems reasonable. I can see that happening.
Sure. I actually just bought the black plates, actually.
Oh, yeah. Do you have the newer model of the PS5?
I did.
Okay.
And then I gave it to my sister.
Oh, nice.
So I still have my OG from 4 years ago. But I figured I'd keep the OG version over the slim one because the OG one doesn't have to like log online to read discs or whatever. So I was like, okay, maybe this is slightly better for preservation than the slim one, you know. And my sister doesn't give a shit about preservation, so
yeah. You're gonna get a Pro too, aren't you?
I'll get a Pro, absolutely.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Well, they'll probably send you one, right? You get sent hardware, don't you?
I do get sent hardware. I got the PS Portal. I got the PSVR 2. So nice. Sony sends me all good stuff. So
yeah, my PlayStation 5 is from Sony. Also, I got mine before it was out. You know, because I
me too.
Stuff on it.
Yeah,
but it's still working. But I'll buy the Pro for sure. Let's see, Spider-Man 2 DLC. I don't know if you need to do DLC for that game, but did they say they're going to do DLC?
No.
You don't need to if you're going to do Venom.
If they're going to do Venom, then yeah. But hopefully Venom then. Yeah, we'll count that as Venom.
Yeah. Let's see. Phil Spencer announcement that more games are being ported, with one shown being State of Decay 2. That'd be very funny if Phil Spencer showed up at the PlayStation. That'd be very funny. I think there's a chance that they could announce some games there, but I can't see Phil coming out. That'd be hilarious, though.
That would be really funny.
What if it was just Satya coming out or whatever? Just be like, nah, I'm doing this now.
Yeah, we fucking killed Phil. You know?
Yeah, Phil's dead, dude.
Phil, we haven't heard anything from... Well, Phil still has an IGN interview, which I'm shocked he hasn't canceled on. And I said this before, but I think the Xbox leadership talks way too much.
They do.
And they do way too many interviews. They did interviews with you guys. They did an interview with Kind of Funny. They're doing interviews with IGN.
It's cool that they're willing to talk. It's great.
Yeah, it's great for content. It's great for creators. You know,
they definitely, I think, put their foot in their mouth too much.
But yeah, as a journalist, obviously, I would never discourage that. But if I was their PR folks, I'd be like, we need to shut the fuck up from now on. Seriously, you need to stop going to these Bloomberg events. You know?
Yeah, yeah, dude. Jeez. Jesus. Let's see. Insomniac finally gets to go ahead and announces Sunset Overdrive is being ported over. That'd be awesome.
That'd be amazing.
I love Sunset Overdrive. It's got many flaws in my opinion, but I think it's very fun game. So I'd love to see
it gets pretty repetitive.
Yes.
Yeah, there isn't a lot going on, but what's going on is great. So
yeah, I just don't like the writing of the game either.
It was pretty cringe.
Borderlands, which I don't like, but the gameplay is extremely fun. So
super cringe for sure. Yeah. It was fun because the character customization was like whoever.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, a lot of fun outfits you can get. Yeah, really fun game. I just don't like the writing and stuff, and some of it is repetitive.
Yeah, let's see. The game got really great once you beat it, and like you didn't have to deal with like the story at all, and you just had like a cool free roaming, skate superhero game. Yeah,
you know? Tony Hawk mixed with Ratchet and Clank, kind of.
Yeah, with cool guns and a lightsaber. You know.
Kojima shows off another teaser for Death Stranding 2. That feels like guaranteed either at this or Keeley's thing.
I kind of hope that he doesn't.
Sure.
I think I'm good on seeing Death Stranding 2. I just want to play the game.
I wonder if they'll show like more gameplay though. We haven't
More
seen much
gameplay would be
gameplay.
cool. Yeah. That would be the last thing I want to see. Just like a little bit more gameplay. But
Yeah.
I'm already locked in. Death Stranding 2.
Mm-hmm.
Just give it to me.
And finally, Ghost of Tsushima 2 revealed with a trailer. I think that can definitely happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if that happens. I'm very excited. Thank you, Robbie.
Prediction: Ghost of Tsushima 2 will be called something of Tsushima.
Or
Instead of
Ghost of something.
Or Ghost of something, as opposed to Ghost of Tsushima.
If it's not on Tsushima anymore, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I think Sony doesn't has an issue with calling things 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Even with The Last of Us, they have to be like The Last
2.
of Us Part 2. Actually,
Yeah.
It's not even 2. It's just The Last of Us Part 2. This is the second part. Remind you.
Yeah.
Right at Horizon Forbidden West. So yeah, like the 2 is like all hidden in the logo.
Yeah. Yeah, they do stuff like that. Like they were on that director's cut kick for a little bit. That seems to have gone away. Who knows? And finally, this is from Kazden Risk. Hey, summon body that I used to know. With the upcoming PlayStation Showcase, I'm hoping that Astrobot rumors are true and we get a fully fledged 3D platformer Team Asobi. Their short Astrobot games have been some of my favorite experiences on PlayStation. I'm excited to see what they do when going beyond VR or tech demo. Take care. Yeah, Kazden. They've been very creative. I really loved Astrobot Rescue Mission on PSVR. I actually reviewed it. It was the highest rating. I gave it like a 9.5 because it was so fucking good.
It's so good. It's like as revolutionary, I feel like, to VR as Mario 64 was to 3D gaming.
Yeah, it was so well done.
Like you can't praise like Astro enough.
Yeah,
Astro VR enough.
So good.
It's so good.
So good.
It's like the best VR game I've ever played. I like it better than Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, me too. I think they're
in general.
Yeah. I mean, don't get us wrong, listeners. Half-Life Alyx, I think, is incredible, but just Astrobot just was my style more. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, same here.
But yeah, hopefully we'll get that this week or soon. Be very exciting. Love all that kind of stuff. We're in the old E3 season. Well, E3 is dead now, so it's Keely's birthday party time where we celebrate all of his games. Keely season. So we shall see what's coming up. All right, Gene. Let's talk about a game we've actually been playing. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Now, I have never played Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I know people loved it. I actually have never beaten a Paper Mario game, but I have been playing this new version. I knew people love this game. They say it's the best Paper Mario game.
There's the one, yeah.
Praise nonstop. But before I share my thoughts, Gene, you've been playing this also. Have you played the original or anything like that, or is this your first time as well?
I did play the original. I played it at my ex-girlfriend's house in college when we were surrounded by kids. So it wasn't like my biggest focus. I don't remember much of the story, but I did play A Thousand Year Door back then, and it was cool. It was funny. I did remember it being probably the most straightforward and funniest and best, like most well written Paper Mario. I really liked the characters, and I was really looking forward to this coming back. So yeah, I got a code. I tried it for a little bit. It's really just an hour or two, just to get a feel for it. And it's cool. I will say that that it is a bummer that the 60 FPS is gone. And I'm not. Obviously, this is not a game that needs it, because it's just an RPG. Although, it is timing based, so that could help, right? So some of the actions. But that said, I did think that the GameCube presentation of the 60 FPS did kind of add to the goofiness and like the slapstick humor of it. Just the way everything moves so smoothly. It did feel like it was a unique game for the GameCube. It really added to the cartoony flavor of it. That said, I do see the new textures. This is a top to bottom remake. Everything that you see in the Switch version is completely new. There are new assets, new textures. Obviously, the level design is the same, but even the stages are different. The texture, the actual look of the textures are different. Everything looks more cardboardy now, as opposed to papery. So everything looks a little thicker. So I do get that. It does. It actually kind of does look kind of cinematic now, so it does look like I'm watching I guess a cartoon show,
Yeah.
but as opposed to a puppet show that was appearing live in my CRT on the GameCube, right? That's kind of the difference now. It's too bad because it'd be cool to see these cardboard assets in 60 FPS. So, and that's I guess something for the Switch too. But
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah, the combat is cool. Just like I remember with all the little wacky controls and everything, and the characters are great too. The writing is really stellar. Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you think as a Paper Mario newbie.
Yeah. So, first of all, real quick though, 'cause we were talking about 60 FPS. There was like
Yeah.
that people found the 4K thing or whatever in the code of the game, I
Oh
guess.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So if that's a hint of what's to come for future Nintendo games, where you could just maybe bump the resolution or hopefully maybe the frame rate for that game,
Mm.
I'm very excited for that. That makes immediately my thought of like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, because I'm like, oh, especially Tears of the Kingdom could use a little more stable frame rate. So
I'll play the hell out of Tears of the Kingdom
I'll play the
all
hell out
over
of that.
again. Yeah.
I'm assuming they'll just release new versions and make us pay for it, or upgrade version of it. Pay $10, $20, whatever. I'll fucking do it because it's Zelda.
Yeah.
But that is exciting. But yeah, Paper Mario. I played quite a bit of the Origami King, and I thought it was fine. I didn't finish it. I think the boss fights kind of just got, I don't know, something about them. They were like very puzzly how they were laid out, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I think I wanted something just a little more straightforward. I think if I played more Paper Marios, I'd have been more into it. But yes, I think right away, the writing to me stands out more in this game. It's very clever, very cheeky in a lot of ways, but done well. Not where I'm like super annoyed or rolling my eyes at it or anything like that. To me, it just seems like they're having a really good time with the writing and having fun. And I just love small details. If you're a longtime Mario fan, you played Sunshine and stuff like that. There are the I forgot what they're called. They're the guys from Island Delfino or whatever. Those guys with the whatever the fuck they're called. They're
I
like,
totally forgot what they're called. Holy shit.
Yeah, what are they called, dude? I gotta look this up. Island Delfino.
They were always funny because like I'm from the islands.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much like I don't want to call them racist, but they could be racist caricatures of like Pacific Islanders because they just go a bunch of guys going who do
yeah.
Maybe not racist. It could be ableist. I don't know.
I think
it is funny though.
Pinatas? I don't know how you'd say that. Whatever. Those fucking goofy idiots. But they're like part of the mob in this game, so it's really funny just having a twist on that, like The Godfather almost.
Oh, Piantas, I guess?
Piantas, yeah, I guess that's how you'd say it. It seems like such a weird... I don't remember that at all.
Yeah,
anyways,
wow. I don't remember them being called that at all. Yeah, Pianta.
I don't.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Wow. Bizarre.
I guess it's been a minute since we played Sunshine too. I played the 3D All-Star Collection too. I completed Sunshine on that one.
I did not complete it, but I did play it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they added GameCube support, I was very happy. The controller, at least, because its flood feels better because it has the pressure.
Oh, that's right.
But using all that.
Oh yeah, I should.
It just feels a little better. But I mean, it's still very player. You never had a GameCube?
Well, I never had a GameCube controller for the Switch.
Oh, okay.
That.
I bought one for Smash.
That could be fun.
Yeah. It's the way to play. I wish more games did that. Like, I wish you could have played Wind Waker like that or something, or Twilight Princess HD like that.
Yeah, man.
Because the Pro Wii U controller was garbage. I hated it. But anyway, sorry, Paper Mario. It's just for you guys to know. We didn't say this. It is a turn-based RPG. First of all, so in the vein of Super Mario RPG, of course, it has a little different tweaks. Like combat takes place in like a whenever you get into a combat encounter that goes to a theater where a bunch of characters are watching you fight, which is fun. Not only do they watch you fight, but sometimes they get involved every now and then during combat. Like sometimes they could help you or hinder you. And it usually depends who's in the audience. Like often there's Shy Guys in there or Koopas. I think there's some Toads in there too. And like, for instance, there's a couple times I had like a Shy Guy in there. There's a little prompt if they're going to do something. You can push X to interrupt it. It could either be a good prompt or a bad prompt. And you can interrupt maybe getting help from a Toad or preventing a Shy Guy from doing something. Like a Shy Guy threw, I think, a piece of paper at me one time, or he like ran up on stage and pulled a lever and something fell down. So it just adds little chaos, which I like to the combat. You have to keep an eye out every now and then. But also the audience, it kind of ties into like a super meter. If you do good stuff in combat, a little meter builds up and you can do stuff like a powerful attack or getting some health and all that kind of stuff. It's fun. It has the super RPG thing of the timing based attacks, time at the right time, do a little extra damage.
Yeah, Mario's jump being the most.
Yeah, Mario gets like the double jump, all that kind of stuff. There's special moves you can get, like to jump on multiple guys, stuff like that, which are all done by badges, like this badge system. Basically, you have a certain amount of badge slots and you get badges that give you new abilities. Like sometimes they are just like a new attack or whatever. You get like a stronger hammer attack and it uses like your flower mana. But there's also some passive ones I had where it's like just a chance to heal Mario or something like that for 1 health or something like that, which is very nice. So you got that. And once you level up, you have to choose between 3 stats. Either more health, which is great, always good. More mana, also good. And also more badge slots, which is... I've actually upgraded quite a bit because I feel like they give you a lot of badges to experiment with. So that's been really fun. And I always think about, I'm like, oh, I do like it, Gene, right now, because I'm always like, oh, everything is good right now. All these upgrades feel good. There's nothing more boring, I think, in an RPG when leveling up and getting stats just starts to feel very boring and like not needed. Like I always think of Assassin's Creed games. Like I think of, what was it called? The Greek one. Odyssey or whatever.
Yeah.
Or in Valhalla, the one after that, where it's just like the skill tree is so big, but I don't... pretty early on, I feel like I'm getting stuff that's not very
They were both huge.
Anymore.
Valhalla was also so huge. There were like 700 things on the fucking skill tree or something, or at least 400. It was hundreds of things on the fucking skill tree.
Yeah.
Each one was like, oh, you're Raging Wolf -3% or something.
Yeah. When you're doing like 3%, it's like less exciting to me. And I think any game that has like a skill tree like that is eventually going to run into this problem. But so far, the leveling has been very nice in Mario RPG. Paper Mario. It's not very frequent either. I'm not leveling up all the time. And like a lot of the damage numbers are staying low. I'm still hitting guys for like 1 or 2 damage just on a normal attack. So it's very interesting. Even though I'm like 6 hours into this game, I would say. But yeah, it's very interesting. Anyway, also, you get like party members that are kind of fun. You get the first one you get is a little toad. Not a toad. I'm sorry, a Koopa. Goomba. That's sorry, not Koopa. Goombella. She's cool. A little more sassy. She'll fight in combat with you. They all have a kind of unique abilities too. Like she has the ability to scan enemies and
you get your scan ability right away.
Yeah, which is always good.
Your scan materia right away.
Yeah. Scan materia is so good always. But yeah, always being able to see what an enemy's weakness is, especially a boss, is always nice. Then the second one you get is this little Koopa Troopa. His name is Coop. He's a very timid. He's trying to become very brave, which I like. I thought it was fun. He has his own abilities.
Yeah, these are great, memorable characters. Like these characters are unforgettable. That's. I think that's why this game sticks with so many people.
Yeah, and he has this cool ability you can do outside of combat where you can like kick his shell, and he can kind of swirl in the air. So if you need to line up, and you can like release him whenever you want. So that comes into play with some puzzles, which is fun.
Yeah, and Goombella is like your adventure game like guide or whatever.
Yeah, she gives you hints if you get stuck and all that kind of stuff. But it's really cool. The game starts in this town called Rogueport, which is like a very kind of like a rough town. Like right in the middle when you walk in to like the main square, there's like a gallows hanging with like a a rope and all that stuff. I'm like, whoa, this is kind of intense for a Mario game right off the bat. And there's
Yeah.
some rough characters, kind of run down. It's really interesting
Yeah,
getting to
you
go
just
through
started
there.
Skid Row of Mario,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's kind of unique. I like a unique aspect that I like about it. And you go to, one of the earlier areas, you go to just a nice little jolly field, very Mario-esque. Then there's dungeons in the game, of course. They're pretty long too. I finished the second one yesterday.
Mm.
What's interesting about that dungeon is you find these kind of like little Pikmin guys almost.
Mm-hmm.
They're essentially like little Pikmin. And you start with one guy and you help him out throughout the whole dungeon. And eventually you get more Pikmin that follow you. They're not called Pikmin, but they're like Pikmin. And they follow you, and eventually you get to like 100 of them, and they're all falling into the dungeon. You use them for little fights. They fight like their sworn enemies, and you just watch them all fight together. It's really fun. They're really cute. I do like them.
The level design is cute. Yeah.
Yeah. The second zone was really striking. It was like a Japanese forest, but everything, like all the trees and plants are all covered in white, almost like snow, but the ground is like a rainbow color. Really beautiful. Really awesome. The music has been enjoyable so far. I actually switched over to the GameCube music now because I heard some people saying the GameCube music's better. So I just swapped. There's like a badge you can get for free, I think, and it's just the old soundtrack, which I'm very happy they put in the game. But it's been nice.
That's cool, yeah.
Some of the boss fights have been cool. Little multi-stage. Like the first one is like a dragon. Big dragon, really cool looking. You get like some frog. It's like it hates like the sound of frogs or something during the fight, and you get a badge you can equip that makes your hammer or your attacks sound like a frog, and the boss really hates it. So I thought that was fun and clever. But yeah, I don't want to spoil too much about it, but I'm enjoying it so far. I'm really curious to see where it goes. I understand why people like this game so much. It is very charming. It has very nice writing with some weird. It does some weird, unexpected things, especially at the time. I would say that it's not like normal Mario. Just kind of storylines going on, how characters act. It just kind of kind of subverts your expectations in some ways, in a good way, not necessarily for shock value's sake.
Wow, it came out in 2004, so it came out exactly 20 years ago. Yeah, I was getting. I will say I was getting a pretty deep existential crisis, starting A Thousand Year Door again, and I was just like, "Wow, I played this 20." So that's why I brought up my girlfriend's house, because that feels like a fucking lifetime ago. Back in like Southgate, California. Like this heavy like Mexican like centric neighborhood. Pretty close to where you guys are at, and I was a completely different person. I was 21, 22 years old, still in college, and God, yeah, I can't believe it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's why, man, I'm 42 years old now, and here I am sitting down in my couch playing People Behind a Thousand Year Door again. But now I'm single, so it's like I don't even have a girlfriend now, At least back then I was playing with a chick,
Yeah. I just looked up the Wind Waker's release date because, like, I remember I was in high school at the time, and I remember coming home and I remember exactly where I was sitting playing the game. And I'm just like, oh, that was fucking 22 years ago. Holy shit.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wind Waker was huge too, because that was when I was at the college paper, and I decided to cover more video games in the entertainment section. And then so Nintendo PR actually came over to our little college newsroom.
Whoa.
And they brought like a locked GameCube, like a...
Oh, yeah. They used to do that.
Because Nintendo used to do that. They used to like come in with like fucking chastity belts around their fucking consoles. And they had a copy of Wind Waker, and they let me play for like a good 2 hours. They just sat there and watched me play.
That's cool.
In the college newsroom, and then
that's
everyone...
cool. Damn.
And the rest of my classmates got to see me play, and it was awesome. And it was like my first time I got to like preview a game, as a journalist. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that sounds awesome. And also weird with Nintendo just watching you play, but still
It was really weird, yeah, and yeah. Nintendo. It was Golden Harris, their PR team,
Oh yeah.
came over. So it was so they came over, and that was my first contact with Golden Harris. And I told the story before, but the first job I ever applied to right out of college was actually with Golden Harris. I was
Hmm.
I was told by everybody, including my professors, that I should leave journalism. Journalism was a dead end road. I
Mm-hmm.
was absolutely going to be laid off and probably not go anywhere, which was a very real chance, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's why I took their advice. I was like, oh shit, fucking, I wasted 4 years doing journalism. Maybe I should just do PR. And then Nintendo was like totally into me, and then they didn't hire me.
Damn.
So off to journalism I went.
Yeah. Man, Nintendo cops are scary, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm scared to fuck with Nintendo.
Yeah, I remember the Golden Harris reps too. Really, really pretty girl. I had a huge crush on her.
Oh yeah, dude. Nintendo's got pretty girls.
Oh my god! Like, yeah, she was super cute, and I think the only reason why I really wanted to work there was just to work with her. So I'm not gonna mention her name, but if you're out there, that's what I
She
thought of you.
knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just quickly, Thousand Year Door seems like a really great RPG right now. Like I said, I'm like 6 hours in. I'm on chapter 3 if you're curious, or I just got there. Then this
Mm-hmm.
like other new zone. Looks like a kind of like an amusement park slash
Mm-hmm.
casino, it seems like. So it seems very fun and
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Looking forward to more of it. But
Yeah, I need to play it. I've been behind on my Nintendo game playing, especially since I'm
yeah.
a co-host of our Nintendo podcast.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but I've
they've
been, I've
only
been, I've
put
been
out Peach, right? And this? Has
Yeah,
that been
yeah.
it?
They only put out Peach, which I haven't even finished yet. And then Mario Wonder, which I also haven't finished yet either.
Oh, you haven't finished Wonder? Okay.
Yeah,
Wonder's
I still
great.
haven't finished. Yeah.
But yeah, you got to be in the
Um,
mood, I guess, sometimes.
yeah, and also Mario RPG, which I also haven't finished yet too. I mean, I played
Mm,
Mario RPG, but well, back when I was in high school.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm good on that experience,
Yeah,
and
I
also
have it
Thousand Year
regamed.
Door too. That's why I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know
you've
if
played it before. I've never played it, so I'm like, all right, this is the time. But
yeah.
I have Super RPG also, but I've played it and I've beaten it, but I just haven't played the remake version
Yeah,
I bought
Mario
yet.
Wonder. I feel bad about not finishing, so I do want to finish because I have beaten every Mario game, of course, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then so like I need to finish Mario Wonder. Peach, I do want to finish just out of obligation. It's a little boring.
Mm-hmm.
I would call it Nintendo's Hellblade 2.
Jeez.
It's about a
Oh, that's
girl with
funny.
really, really simple controls and a very, very linear game. And it is what it is.
Yep. Let's see. Let's hear from the audience about Paper Mario. This is from Julio Mendez. Hola, summoners. Playing through Paper Mario Thousand Year Door reminded me of how good the series used to be with a fantastic story, partners with lots of personality and engaging combat system. The drop in quality from Sticker Star onwards is truly noticeable. Do you think the next Paper Mario will go back to its roots and be more of a traditional Mario RPG? While the Origami King was a step in the right direction, I enjoyed it for what it was. The game still lacked some of the things that made the first 3 Paper Mario games special. Hard for me to say Julio because I haven't played. I've played a lot of Paper Origami King and some of this, and I haven't played the other
Shout out
ones.
to
So I
Julio
don't
for
really
saying
know.
the first 3 Paper Marios though, because that means you're thinking about Super Paper Mario, and a lot of people forget
Was that a Wii
them.
game?
It was a Wii game, and it was really, really good too. I kind of liked it better than Thousand Year Door actually.
Oh, really?
But,
Wow.
yeah,
But yeah, what do you think, Gene? Since you have more experience with the series than me,
not
do you
not a
think we should go
lot
back?
because I didn't play Sticker Star or Color Splash, mostly because of the because they changed up the gameplay to a
Yeah.
point where it's
Mm-hmm.
unrecognizable. I'm not sure why they decided to use Paper Mario as their experimentation lab for, I guess, various RPGs. I guess that's basically what they were doing, is that they were just using Paper Mario to experiment with different
Yeah,
types of.
they weren't those. I haven't played these either, but the Mario and Luigi games, they were RPGs too, right?
They were RPGs too, yeah. So like it feels like Paper Mario were the more experimental ones, which is
Mm-hmm.
strange because they're also the higher budget ones. So maybe the Thousand Year Door, if this one sells well, this will be a return to form for the series. Who knows?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I mean, if it's like Thousand Year Door, sure, I'm down. I mean,
Yeah.
we're always down for more RPGs, or at least
Yeah.
good ones. So.
Super Paper Mario was a little bit more platformy than this one actually.
Oh,
'Cause,
really? Okay.
yeah, that one had a lot more platforming. It was closer to a regular Mario game than this one ever was. So
Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
interesting. I mean, it makes sense. Mario's a
yeah.
platformer, but yeah, cool. Well, hopefully the next one's good, whatever it's going to be.
Hmm.
This is from Sean Mason. Greetings, summoners. I wanted to share my immense love for Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which ranks among my all-time favorite games. Having previously speedran this title, I possess a deep familiarity with its intricacies.
Mm.
I'm curious, what chapter has been the most enjoyable for you thus far? Personally, I have a soft spot for Chapter 4 thanks to Vivian, my favorite partner, and the eerie atmosphere it presents. Best, Sean M. Well, Sean, I only just got to Chapter 3, so there's still a lot I have yet to discover. But I did like Chapter 2 because I like those little Pikmin guys that were with you. They're very cute. Let's see. It's from RK128. That reminds me of Mario 128. Man,
I
what a
still remember
time.
that too. I thought about Mario 128 while playing Paper Mario because then all those enemies crowd around the screen or whatever like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I was like, wow, they did pull that off in the GameCube back then.
They
That
got
was
the tech.
interesting.
Yeah, man. It's like
Yeah.
Pikmin. Blessed day, summoners. Going into the launch of Paper Mario, I was concerned about the new FPS target. While the original ran at 60 FPS, this runs at 30 FPS. But after finishing Chapter 1, I've had no issues with the game. It feels very responsive and looks stunning on Switch. Any thoughts on the game's new FPS target after playing it on Switch? Have a this walking sim hitting different, fam, kind of day. Thank you, RK128. That is definitely a defining Duke fan. I can always tell
Mm.
by those sign offs.
Mm.
The
Oh
FPS,
yeah.
I obviously do wish it was 60. I mean, I always prefer 60 FPS any day, but it's very playable in 30. It's fine. It's not the end of the world, but it is a bummer when a newer version of a game has lower frame rate. It always feels like a weird step backwards. Obviously, I'm
It's a
sure it
little weird.
looks much better. I don't have the reference point, but I'm sure it looks much better than the original. But I still wish it had 60 FPS. I'm
Yeah, I
sure they
just feel
couldn't get it steady. They were just
yeah,
like,
like
let's
I
just
said,
lock it.
the animations just pop in 60.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a cartoon slapstick cartoon. So you kind of want that. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
definitely want it, but
yeah,
it's still fun.
yeah. It's not
I'd
even
still
for the
recommend it.
gameplay. Like for me, it's actually the aesthetics of it. Actually,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely not just gameplay. It's like movement, just seeing your
hmm
characters move around and how the world feels in 60
hmm
FPS and looks
hmm
is a big part of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it feels immersive.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool game though. Looking forward to playing more. Good job, Nintendo. All right, Gene, it's time. Let's talk about. You've talked about this quite a bit already with the Dukes. Senua Saga Hellblade 2, the sequel to Ninja Theory's original Hellblade game. I played through this last week.
Mm.
Just for everybody knows, if you haven't heard, Gene talked about with the Dukes on Defining Duke last week. For quite a while, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Gene, I think you and Maddie were not big fans of this game, correct?
No,
No, but Cog was.
Cog was a fan. He liked it.
So I'll
Maddie
just, yeah, you and
Maddie
Maddie.
was tough on it, and I was a little nicer on it. In my review, I gave it a 2.5 out of 4 stars, so that's a
Mhm.
63 on the Metacritic scale, 62.5, whatever. But I did go in on it pretty harshly on Defining Duke. So if you
Yeah,
want to go listen to that one, I go in pretty hard because I thought I was going to be nicer on the game on the podcast. But then, yeah, the more I thought about it, like the
yeah,
more frustrated I got, and I was kind of feeding off Maddie's energy too, who really didn't like
yeah.
the game either. So, but
I
yeah,
really.
ultimately, I just didn't really like it.
Mhm.
I do call it good because I think it's fine as as an experience. Um, a lot of people, it's been frustrating to hear a lot of people who defend the game
Mhm.
say, well, maybe it's just because you had wrong expectations, and I think that's kind of what I wanted to clear up on Defining Duke, and I'll repeat that here, and that at least for me, and I think for a lot of people, for a lot of the reviewers, I think we all expected Hellblade 2 to be a pretty simple walking simulator adventure game, right?
Yeah,
Um, I,
especially
I,
after the last time they showed it.
especially after developer direct, we were like, okay,
Mhm.
well, this is going to be a similar game. And then I played Hellblade 1, so I had a pretty good expectation of what at least Hellblade 1 was. I think people just didn't find it very good. The story wasn't as good. The adventure isn't as good. The walking what we saw in walking interactive wasn't that good. So
Mhm.
like I think the expectations were there. It just wasn't as good as you might hope. So
Yeah.
that's
Uh
where I'm standing at. Obviously, I think some people might go into this and be thinking maybe this would be a God of War or Uncharted, or maybe a deeper experience. I'm sure there's a lot of that going on, but at least for reviewers, I think a lot of us were pretty knowledgeable about what the game was going to be. We
yeah.
just don't think it's that good. So
Yeah, I think if you paid attention to like we said, their last Xbox thing or their direct or whatever it's called again,
yeah,
they set expectations for what the game was to me pretty clearly. Now
yeah,
before that, we didn't even know what the fuck the game was for a long time.
no,
And my expectation was, well, I was like, well, they're first party now, so they probably got a much bigger budget. They've been working on this game for a long time. It feels like I'm not exactly sure how long the development was, but they did Hellblade 1, then they did Bleeding Edge.
hmm.
Man,
Did you play Bleeding Edge?
no, no, no,
I
no,
saw
no.
clips of it. It looked okay, I
No,
guess.
no, no, no. I did
I mean,
not want
I
any
did
part of that.
definitely didn't look like anything that was going to set the world on fire, but
Right, yeah. So
it looked
then,
like
but then,
it looked like they knew how to make a combat game, which
yeah,
is like okay, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Then this came out. So I honestly expected, because it was first party now, I was like, okay, Microsoft's probably going to pump a lot more into this. I expect the scale to be bigger. Now that's first party, but I was like, oh, it's going to be, in my opinion, their version of God of War or whatever, both Norse mythology games. So I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be
hmm,
their version of God of War. But once they showed that direct or whatever, I was like, oh, okay, it's very similar to the first game. Whatever. Before I get into the game, though, I am not gonna be very positive on this game,
yeah,
like you and Maddie. If you want to hear a positive note, Duke, listen to Cog's opinion about the game. I wanted to get Cog on this episode, but it is Memorial Day here in the United States, so
mm,
busy. Totally fine. Hopefully, we have him on the future talking about it, because I want a different perspective. But I am much more in line with Maddie and Gene on this game. Uh, Gene, if I was reviewing games still, I probably would have given this game a 6. I think.
yeah. That's pretty much what I gave it.
Yeah, I could do a 6. Maybe you could maybe convince me to be lower, or I can
Yeah,
maybe convince myself to be lower, like a 5.5. Maybe if I wanted to
yeah,
seem harsh. I know the critic scale is different than a lot of
mm,
people want, but yeah, I was like a 6. There's some cool stuff here, but I think ultimately it is a little disappointing in what it
mm,
is. I mean, my expectations weren't super high. I never finished Hellblade when it came out. I didn't really care for it, so I stopped
mm.
playing. Before this came out, though, I went through one all the way, actually, and I
Okay,
was also not a super huge fan of that game.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, we'll see if they address some things I dislike. Like, I hated the puzzles in Hellblade when I fucking hated them.
How long ago did you play it?
Hellblade 1,
Just
like
like
2 weeks ago or so.
okay, yeah, me too. Exactly, just about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I played it a week or two before this came
yeah, we
out. So I
played it
was like,
around the
all
same
right.
time. Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Um, but there's some stuff I liked in the first game. Like, I liked Senua's kind of struggle, her mental anguish. It felt much more personal in that game than
Mm,
it does in this game, I would say.
it does.
Like the voices, those two women voices you hear, and there's like a male voice you hear that's her dad throughout this game
Hmm.
a lot. And I described them in this game. They seem to serve the plot much more in the first game. In this
Hmm.
game, I just kept picturing being in the movie theater, Gene, just having two moms behind me the entire
Hmm.
time at a matinee, just fucking
Hmm.
talking to each other about this movie.
Why does she
And
trust him? Why does she?
yeah, I'm just like, shut the
What is
fuck
she
up.
doing?
That's what this game
Yeah,
was to me. Like,
yeah.
it was just they got so annoying and they just didn't serve any purpose. I felt like through a lot of the game, they strangely felt tacked on. As much as the game is about her psychosis and all that stuff, it just seemed much stronger in the first game compared to this one, which is disappointing. Now, I thought it was cool to get to see more people in the world this time, because the first game is very much just Senua, which makes sense. But I thought it was nice to see the actual world outside of kind of there. And I thought the idea of these giants kind of terrorizing land was interesting, and her being captured to kill these slavers seemed all cool, but none of it just really connected that well, in my opinion.
No.
The story was just kind of jarring how it jumps around a lot.
Yeah.
And just doesn't make sense. Like, so these giants, they try to make you feel bad for these giants, you know? Very light spoiler here. Well, I don't know. I'm going to talk about some spoilers earlier on in this game. So if you don't want to know anything about this game, story narrative-wise, just get the hell out. It is a very short game, though, so keep that in mind also.
Yeah, if you haven't played the game by now and you want to, what are you doing?
Yeah, you can get through it quickly.
Yeah, it'll be so over so quick. So
yeah,
or just watch a YouTube video too. You know, that's fine.
It's really funny. I was streaming at Gene. I was like, man, I'm usually I'm usually very strong. I'm like, playing is not the same as a watching kind of thing. Yeah. But when I was streaming, I was like, yeah, you could probably just watch this if you really wanted.
Yeah. Did you see the streamer who was falling asleep as he was playing?
No, I didn't see that. Jeez. That's brutal, man.
He was at the last level too, which is like just at the very edge of like, you know, your patience, you know, and this is like during like a very slow walking period.
Yeah.
Which again happens at the very end at the game, where like, most of the last level is just walking. Actually, there's not even any puzzles.
Yes, that's true.
And then like the whole time he was just like, like his eye, he couldn't like keep his eyes open. Like he was falling asleep.
That's so
like,
funny, man.
It didn't even seem performative. Like he really looked like a guy
actually just tired.
Yeah, a guy who was like really struggling to like stay awake during a meeting or something.
Jeez, man, that's brutal. But yeah, this giant earlier on this, like, you know, these giants, they telling you about
giants,
they're fucking killing people, like eating them or whatever. And they're trying to make me sympathize with these giants or whatever. Just like, fuck no. I don't give a shit about these giants. They like really try to make me feel bad for these giants. I'm like, I don't feel bad for these giants at all. They're killing and eating people, and I'm putting them down. What are you trying to make me feel bad for them for? I'm not going to give a shit about these giants. They're assholes and they're evil. Yeah. So that was a big miss for me. Also, Gene, I could not believe there was like no like proper like boss fight except for the very end of the game. How are you going to, okay.
I don't know if you even count that as a boss fight too, because it's just a regular guy again.
How is the developers that made Heavenly Sword, Enslave Odyssey of the West, Devil May Cry not have like a proper boss fight in their game?
Even Hellblade 1 had a boss fight.
Hellblade 1 had like boss fights with like some like weird monsters and stuff. Yeah, Fenrir and stuff like that. You don't fight these guys at all.
You don't fight the giants.
The boss fight is you fucking running to a chain and pushing A on it. I was like, what is this? It's like, it reminded me of the Dragon God from Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Like, that was the entire fight.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? And the second one is like, you run to it. You're running and there's like waves crashing. You like hold on to rocks. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, you hold on to rocks to make sure that you don't get washed away by the waves. And if you do get washed away by the waves or hit by the lava, then you just go back like 5 seconds.
It's like you put so much effort into the presentation and the visuals, which are very good. Don't get me wrong. The game looks incredible. Like the environment looks really great. The game is very much like you're on a railroad track. You know, there's not a lot of going off the path. Occasionally there's spots to get some lore, I guess, if you really want it. That's about it.
Yeah.
But it feels like you're on train tracks a lot of the game. And I'm like, how do you like build up these huge giants that could be cool set pieces to fight, you know? I'm thinking back to like God of War and stuff like that, or even like how is this team that made Devil May Cry, like DMC is not my favorite Devil May Cry at all, but at least the combat I think is pretty decent in that game.
It was good. It was good.
So then it's just like, what are you guys doing, man? It just feels like they just gave up on some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the combat this time in general, I think the presentation of it is much better and much more intense, which is cool.
Sure. Yeah.
But then it's all one-on-one, which is disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
That takes away a ton of tension right away because you just know, okay, fight this guy and another one's going to bump into me, and I fight this kick and another one's going to bump into me. It's like
it was like a dance too, because every time you kill one person, you do your special kill that's like pre-canned, and you just watch that happen, and then like someone else will like punch you from the side, and you're like, okay, well, I guess we're dancing now here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like switching dance partners, basically.
And it's like they took away the kick. I liked the kick in the first game.
I liked the kick. I was really mad that they took away the B button melee. That was a huge part of why I didn't like this game as much, because like you had a very, very simple thing that made the combat a little bit more engaging in the first game, and you took that out.
Yeah, it feels like to me like it's weird because it feels like you could have built upon that. You could have built on that foundation of the first game. But instead, they decided we can't do it. It feels like they are like, we can't do it. We can't figure it out. So we're just going to dial it back even more.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I want to emphasize what you said, too. We can't figure it out. You know what? They couldn't figure it out. They couldn't figure out how to make the animations for the kick and punches work properly with like whatever like you might be hitting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything has to be canned and look perfect. You know, the way Senua's hair never clips into anything,
that is impressive.
The swords. Yeah, it's very impressive. Like the swords never really clip into each other when they clash and everything like that. It looks really great. And I feel like they couldn't figure out how to make a punch or a kick like animate well and cleanly into another type of enemy that may or may not have a shield, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't control like what that might look like. So they were like, you know what, fuck it then. You know, like we can't mocap this properly and make it connect. So fuck it, we'll just trash the whole B button. That's I feel like I've been thinking about that. And I feel like that's why they couldn't figure out, because they really, really, really care about making sure that everything is motion captured
beautifully.
You know?
Yeah. It's just disappointing. Like I really wish they could have figured out like the combat better to fight more than one enemy at a time to make combat actually feel more intense. Because a lot of it too, Gene, is the combat never really changed throughout the game.
No.
There was one enemy near the end of the game that made me play a little different than I had been playing the whole game. And it was like these fire guys. They would like blow fire. They'd set themselves on fire. I had to actually like back up and get some spacing. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Finally, we're doing something like that. But everything else, it's just the same throughout the whole game. It's really disappointing. Like, how do you guys you're not building upon like the blocks as you go throughout the game. It's just very strange to me. It just stays the same. So many of the enemies are the exact same. There's not a lot of types. Everything you fight is a human, which is disappointing. Like you don't fight any of the giants actually.
I feel like I'm going crazy whenever I see people hype up the game and say there's so many different enemy types. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Not really. There's like,
what are you talking about?
Sword boy. There's
a sword boy. There's an axe boy. There's a spear boy. There's a shield boy, and then a fire boy.
And a fire boy. That's all I could think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So it's like 4 types. It's like, okay. But a lot of the...
And then they had the little like creepy crawly Draugr type guys, right?
Oh yeah, but like whatever, dude. They're just...
Yeah, but it's...
You fight them the
whatever.
exact same as
exactly,
else.
Yeah.
It's just like, I wish you guys built upon... It just does not feel like built upon the foundation of the first game in a gameplay sense. In fact, just feels like they went backwards, which is so strange. From everywhere, every direction, the gameplay feels like it goes backwards and doesn't move forward, which is a big mistake. Everything else moves forward, like the visuals the visuals move forward. You could say the presentation does not, which I can totally understand because I don't know if it really does. The story of this game is like whatever. It's not very memorable. The first game definitely, I think, had more of an impactful story. The puzzles this time around, like I hated the puzzles in the first game. I thought they're so fucking annoying.
Yeah,
they have some of the rune ones. They're much easier now because like things glow red.
Oh, I remember when I told you off camera when you asked me if they still had the puzzles in Hellblade, and I was like, no, they come back, and the look of disappointment on your face. Was
I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
because Hellblade 1 I don't mind like the rune puzzle itself, but like in Hellblade 1, they would like throw 3 in a row at you. Just like, dude, stop. Give me some breathing room for God's sakes. Now, they don't do that in this game, thank God. they have the rune puzzles. They're much easier to do now, which is fine. But the other puzzles is like, hey, light this torch. I mean, nothing actually feels like a puzzle, I'd say, Gene, maybe until the
No.
very end. Everything just kind of feels like you're just opening the path, and it's all very straightforward.
They're tasks.
They're tasks. You're not having to really think about it. I'm just like, okay, point A, point B. At this point, I wasn't actually like going, thinking about it. They weren't interesting puzzles, really.
You see the ball on the pedestal, and then you see the pedestal without the ball.
Yeah.
And you're like, I think I'll put the ball on that pedestal.
Yeah,
put it on that pedestal over there, and then boom, Nothing
in this game feels clever from a puzzle standpoint. Nothing gives you that aha moment, which is very disappointing because outside of walking and the combat, that's all there is. So it's just like everything feels so half-baked. I don't mind the length of the game. Like, whatever. It is what it is. That doesn't bother me at all, especially because it's on Game Pass, so you can just fucking pay $10, whatever. It feels like a video game rental, which is totally fine.
The length is never the issue. One of my favorite games is Sayonara Wild Hearts. That game is a fucking hour long.
Yeah.
I would gladly pay $50 for that game versus this game, because I just think the story and the presentation and the message are so much stronger than what they pull off in Hellblade in 5-6 hours with way less graphics.
Yeah, and I think this game is in an unfortunate position. It had, I think if this came out at a different time. And so, like, this is the first Xbox first party game, I guess, for the year, right? So we're in, like, late May. So that's what was the last Xbox first party game that came out? I can't recall off the top of my head.
I think it was Starfield.
Was it Starfield? Okay.
I think it was. Yeah,
so it's been a while. Yeah. And, like, Sony's been absent as well. But it's just like, this is your big, huge game for a while. And it's a very small game that, in my opinion, is disappointing. This game's just getting tore up for a lot of... Well, I mean, it got good reviews. This is a very game journalist game. I could see game journalists liking this game in a lot of ways, and they did. Which is fine, but I don't agree with it. But I think it's just having a rough time. Because I think if there's something else a little closer to it to help soften the blow, it might have been done a little better. But Jesus.
I forgot who mentioned this. Maybe it was on Duke, but I forgot. It was another podcast, but it was a good idea. They should have been marketing Hi-Fi Rush more, and they should have just shadow dropped Hellblade 2.
Yes, that would have been better.
Because marketing Hi-Fi Rush would have been a lot better. It's a much more complicated game. It's definitely a more niche game that appeals to people like me who really, really like Devil May Cry and character action games. It's a game with a lot of characters. Versus Hellblade, which is really, really simple. And if Hellblade just came out of nowhere, I think a lot of people would be like, whoa, where did this come from? You guys have been making this for the past 5 years? As opposed to selling it at the 2019 E3 or Game Awards and be like, here's our Xbox platform. And guess what? We got Hellblade 2 coming, baby.
Yeah, out of everything you showed. It's like, okay, I guess. I mean, PS4, their first game they showed was Knack. So at least they showed games after that.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the thing with Hellblade 2. It's like, okay, well, like, I don't know if Hellblade is the series to get people to buy an Xbox either.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's not. It's just a little side dish.
Yeah, it's a little add-on, and Hellblade 2 would be a cool addition if there, and it is a cool addition to the Xbox library, in terms of adding diversity. But to your point, it just comes out at such a bad time.
Yeah, and I think just the amount of time how long we knew about this game, and the amount of times they showed it, I remember just seeing this game, and I'm like, what the fuck is this game? Like, what is the game actually? And we see it, and it's like, okay, I guess that's kind of why they were hiding a lot of it, because there's not a lot of it, and it's very similar the whole way throughout. But yes,
remember the gameplay reveal with the giant?
Yeah, it's like, that's the gameplay, man. Like, that's the thing they show, and you like, here's this dramatic scene of everyone running and throwing spears at this giant. And you don't actually fucking fight him. You don't do any of that stuff. You don't do anything cool like that. It's just like, dude.
I guess spoilers for that giant fight. Technically, they spoiled it.
They did. When they showed
that trailer. But that's all you get.
That's it.
That's the whole
That's
fight.
all you fight them as. Yeah, it's very strange.
That's the whole fight. Was that whole 6 minute trailer that they showed like 4 years ago?
Yeah,
And so they showed the coolest part of the game
yeah, that's
already
like the
4 years
coolest part of the
ago.
whole game. Yeah.
That was the coolest part of the whole game, like visually looking. Obviously the other giant they haven't shown, and the other giant that was actually embargoed to in the NDA. They said please don't show the other giant, and it's like okay, yeah, because obviously that's the only other set piece that this game has. So, and you already spoil
I know.
the bigger one for some reason.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, when I got to that portion, I was like, okay, here it is. Here's that part. I'm wondering how this part plays, because I remember seeing that part and I was like, how does this play? Because they're calling this gameplay. So what is
Hmm.
the gameplay part, right? Is it just the running and the throwing X to throw a spear? And you get to that part. It turns out that's exactly what it
That's
was,
exactly what it is. Yeah.
I thought at least that we'd be able to control Senua and like walk around the giant and just chuck spears at him, like
No,
like
you
like uh like 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 the like how you fight Ganondorf at the end of Breath of the Wild, remember?
can't.
Um, and you're just shooting light arrows at the big old spots, and it's more of a set piece fight than anything
Hmm.
else, right? It's your reward for finally beating Breath of the Wild and beating Ganon. Spoilers for Breath of the Wild. You fight Ganon at the end, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, and it's a set piece battle. I thought maybe at least this would be that. Like you get to walk around a little bit and throw spears and just feel a little bit more involved and get to enjoy
Hmm.
the visuals a little bit more and watch this fucking giant writhe around and everything like that. But no,
Nope.
no, that's all. You don't get any of
Yeah.
that.
Also, before anyone complains, yes, the audio is very good. We are well aware the audio design is very good. Everything sounds very nice. Once again, the game looks visually very good, very stunning game.
Yeah.
But it's just a disappointment for me. Wanted more from it from a gameplay front. But if you're
Mhm.
curious about it, you got Game Pass, very easy to access. You can get through it a sitting or two. Play it yourself and judge and figure it out for yourself if you like it or not. But I wasn't too hot on it. Most people I know who actually played it were not very hot on it.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at the reviews. I think, and I said this much on Defining Duke. I think a lot of people are a little afraid to criticize this game because
That's what I was saying, man. It's because it has deals like a lot of mental health stuff like that. I think the
yeah,
first game got a lot of positive stuff because of that too.
because of that. And to be fair, yeah, sure, it was new at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's okay to praise the game for that. And also, I think
Sure, yeah,
the first game just did it better
yeah,
in
I do
general,
too.
right?
I
I
do
don't think
too.
the second game tackles the issues that well. I think the way they mix up the mythology with the giants and mental health is confusing, and not really told really well.
No.
You know, I just think that a lot of people are like, well, it's just really I can't believe that you call this bad. They put a lot of work into making sure that they're properly portraying mental illness. Oh, it's like, okay, we're not grading a research paper or a
Right.
project here. We're not grading them on how well their research was,
Yeah.
right? That's not what this conversation is. We're reviewing the game as a artistic product. And artistically, some people just don't think it's that good. Maybe some
Yeah.
people do think it's good,
Yeah.
and
That's
obviously
fine.
that's where the art lies, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you can't be surprised at some people thinking that it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, this is
Weird
not
ass
a research
game.
paper. Yeah, so like you can't just use the mental illness thing as a shield.
Yeah, you can't.
Just because they researched it well doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Sure, they went a little bit more than Bluebird team did. But that's about it.
Oh, let's see. Phil Walker wrote in, "Hey Brad, it's your resident Hellblade hater here. I wrote in a couple of weeks ago regarding Hellblade 1. Well, I actually kind of like Hellblade 2. Is it a good game?
Hmm.
Not really, but the combat is less frequent, cinematic, and streamlined. The puzzles are reduced, and in general, the game just keeps moving forward. I have to say the technical achievements go well beyond just being a graphics snob. It's a revolution and a window into where real-time graphics will go. I also enjoyed the story, a small fable about a leader who created monsters in order to control the people and protect his own power, not too far removed from the reality of modern politics. Is this game worth $50? Was it worth such a long development time? And is this the type of game Xbox first party needs? Sadly, I think the answer to these questions is no. But removed from this context, I enjoyed the experience for what it was. Cheers, Phil. Well, that's good. You enjoyed it, Phil. Or you enjoyed it.
I think that his read on the story was good too, and if you enjoyed that, then that's awesome. Like you clearly understood the story very well, and you liked it, so that's awesome. You know.
I think it's just funny when you're like, is the game worth $50? Is it worth such a long development time? Is it the type of game Xbox first party needs? Sally, I think the answer is no. It's just like, damn.
So it's like, even if you like the game, there's all these caveats and everything like that. So I mean, that's why I gave the game a 2.5, because it's like, it's none of those things, you know. It's not worth $50, you know. I don't think.
I wouldn't pay $50 for it.
I wouldn't pay $50 for it. I'd be so mad if I paid.
Play it on Game Pass. They want you to play it on Game Pass, so just play it there.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Tao Tansua. Guys, I'm starting to think that Gene Park plays a lot of video games. Anyway, I feel like Hellblade 2 was a AA game that was given a AAA burden to carry by a desperate Xbox, and that complicated the review process.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. What do you think of that, Gene?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I said this on Duke. I never thought Ninja Theory is that good of a studio. I think they're a little overrated. I don't know where the overrating even comes from, because they haven't really made a great game, you know?
I think people like their narratives a lot, from what I understand.
Yeah.
For people I've talked to who like their games.
Yeah, sure. And I've always been on the Enslaved train, you know. I've always, I did enjoy Enslaved. Heavenly Sword was a good game for a PS3 game.
I did like Heavenly Sword, yeah.
Yeah, it was fine, and I kind of want to play it again, actually, too. I've been thinking about hooking my PS3 back up and giving that a shot again. But they've never been that studio, you know. So when Microsoft bought them, I was like, really? I was like, okay, for that price, that makes sense, you know. Okay, but I never thought like, oh, this is a key addition to a first party publisher platform. I never thought of that. I was like, okay, well, sure, you know, let's see what they do. So I don't know what Microsoft was thinking when they bought Ninja Theory, and whether they thought Hellblade was going to be like their version of a third-person game.
Yeah.
Maybe they keep talking about how hands-off they are. Maybe they had no idea how small Hellblade 2 really was.
Maybe.
You know? And then that's why, that well, as far as we know, we know that when Hellblade 2 was shown off at the Xbox event in 2019, there was no game. That was all they had, and the trailer they show where with Senua freaking out and chanting and everything like that part's not even in the fucking final game. You know?
No, it's not. Yeah,
I was waiting for that. That part looked really cool, and that's not in the final game at all. So whatever Ninja Theory told Microsoft they were working on, I don't know, but maybe I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft thought that they were gonna get something bigger. And they didn't. I would not be surprised at all, because
very strange.
Because I feel like that's what we all thought.
Yeah, it's we all thought originally. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, the game seemingly hasn't sold very well either. So I'm very curious about the future of the studio. Hopefully, they get another shot for a game. Apparently, their game's greenlit, their next one. So I hope it's great, whatever it is. But I don't know. Just a weird time right now in games.
2. Let's see what the Steam charts are in Hellblade 2.
Oh, they were like low.
I know they were low. There you go.
I can find it real quick.
No, it's 1,142 people right now playing.
Right now, the peak was 3,982.
Yeah,
which is not good.
That was at launch.
I believe Redfall had more than that.
Redfall did have more, and yes, obviously these are Steam numbers.
Yes,
obviously, but
yeah.
There's still a metric to look at.
It's still a metric. You know? It's not the only metric, but it is the one we have access to right now. It is not the end all be all. We can't see Game Pass engagement or anything like that.
Yeah, I have no doubt that probably the Game Pass numbers are much larger. Why wouldn't they be? You know, and if you have Game Pass, you have no excuse to not play this game. You should just play this game.
You can get through it 1 or 2 sittings. Yeah.
So even if you don't recommend this game or like this game, like, you should try it out for yourself. You may and it's still cool. You know, the caveat always is a visual showcase, but it is though.
Yeah, it is.
It's worth the price of Game Pass admission to check it out.
Yeah, I'd say it's worth checking out. but I think it's ultimately disappointing, and so do
Yeah.
you. But yeah, you should check it out yourself if you have the option. All right, Gene, it's time for Sort It Out! On this segment, we just talk about something that needs sorting out in the industry. Something we're not too pleased with. Game, company, human being, perhaps? I don't know. Gene, anything this week that you feel needs sorting out in the game industry?
Damn it. I'm always not ready for for this assignment.
I'm never ready either, Gene. So what we
Yeah.
can do is we can start with the listeners, then we can go from there.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. This is from the Order 886. Sort out Sony. You completely garbled Nier's thoughts and took minimal steps to address it. Also, why are these media outlets who preach doing the research but at the same time are eager to lambast the next figurehead with their made up version of them? It's so vitriolic. I'm all for criticism, but maybe a basic follow up could have avoided this pathetic tornado chucking from the piss poor paraphrasing that misrepresented that interview.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Shit. That was going to be my sorted out. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can
Sony and Neil Druckmann. Yeah. Thank you, listener. But yeah.
Why don't you explain that to the audience, little Gene?
Yeah.
What happened?
So Sony, the larger company in general, is currently going through kind of like their business update, and they're updating their shareholders and everyone on what the vision of Sony is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this week we're going to hear a little bit more about PlayStation, but last week we did hear more about the broader strategy of Sony, which of course would include PlayStation, because PlayStation is the biggest moneymaker for the company in general. As part of that presentation, they interviewed their star creator, Mr. Neil Druckmann, creator of the Uncharted and The Last of Us series. And he talked about his game creation, and he had a little quote about what project he might be making next. So his quote, according to Sony, would say that, quote, I'm eager to see how this new game resonates, especially following the success of The Last of Us, as it could redefine mainstream perceptions of gaming, which is such a crazy thing to say. And I honestly didn't think that Neil said it either. I was a little surprised at how brash it was.
Mm-hmm.
And Neil might be self-indulgent, but I don't think that he is that far gone. He doesn't think of himself as some kind of genius creator, and he's always really careful about making sure that that everyone in Naughty Dog, that's a team effort, that's credited. And it turns out that Neil Druckmann the next day said this is not quite what it said, and he had a full long answer that included making sure that the team was being thanked about, but also he talked about, I'm not only excited for this game that we're making, and it's something really fresh for us, but I'm also excited to see how the world reacts to it. Quote, because The Last of Us and the success of the show, people even outside of gaming are looking at us to see what it is we put out next. I'm very excited to see what this reaction to this thing would be. So it sounds like that whoever in Sony corporate, which was kind of transcribing these interviews and making these interviews for these corporate products, basically paraphrased Neil and thought, because and it conflated what Neil was saying about how The Last of Us HBO show might have been, and The Last of Us is changing perceptions of mainstream gaming, because people will watch The Last of Us show and be like, wow, I didn't know video games could be this deep, which is true. Even if you watch YouTube reactors, people who never played The Last of Us before, when they watch the HBO show, they were like, whoa, this was in a video game, So that to Neil's credit, that absolutely does happen. But Neil did not say, our next game is going to mainstream perceptions of gaming.
Yeah, because that comment kind of like made me roll my eyes. I was like, okay, but turns out he didn't exactly say it like that.
Yeah. I didn't really believe Neil would say that. So yeah, sort it out, Sony. I don't know what's going on with you.
Yeah, that was terrible.
But yeah, that's a little peek into like PR work and corporate work, where you would interview. So like, I used to do PR, right? And one of my PR clients was a solar panel company.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I was like trying to promote this guy in like the solar panel magazines and like the solar panel media world and everything like that. And I would create interviews and, but I would go back to the guy and be like, okay, is this cool what you said? As a journalist, you're just running with whatever they said. You don't have to check back. But because they're my client,
Mm-hmm.
I have to go back and check. So somehow nobody checked with Neil on what was said here, or Neil just kind of glossed over it and just said, okay, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like if Neil read that carefully, he wouldn't have signed off on it. So I'm wondering what happened there in terms of the corporate community, the comm strategy breakdown, because something broke down there. And it's pretty remarkable for Neil as a personality and as creator to kind of shame his own employer that way. So it does go to show that the kind of power that he does wield within the company.
He does have a lot. Yeah, really, really bizarre situation. Really bizarre.
Yeah. So yeah, Sword Art Sony comms for that. It seems like everyone is having a comm strategy problem.
Yeah.
Xbox obviously is talking way too much and keeps putting their foot into their mouth and isn't really able to communicate a clear strategy, other than we're trying to make a lot of money. And then Sony does this. Shout out to Nintendo. Keep it up, Nintendo, for just tweeting out, "This is Miyamoto. This is Fujibayashi."
Yeah,
like in the clearest possible terms. No, we're not going to be talking about a Switch 2 in June. We might talk about it later.
Yeah, that is funny.
Like, there's no like mealy mouth like PR talk or anything like that. Like, no, this is what we know. This is who we are. This is what we do. Yeah.
This is from Alex Price. Hello, fellow summoners. I've got to sort it out for Activision and Call of Duty. For someone who only plays the campaign, I've got to download 250 gigabytes for Black Ops Cold War. You've got to be shitting me. Sorting it out. That is a lot to play just the campaign. I thought some Call of Duty split those up, like the downloads, but maybe that one didn't, I guess.
It's confusing. It's hard. Like, I know that there is a way to do it, but I think that it's just easier to just be like, okay, yeah, let me just download everything. Especially if you're on the PlayStation side, or even on the Xbox side, because Xbox, I think PlayStation actually gives you like a collated, like, like, do you want to reinstall this stuff?
Yeah.
Xbox, I'm not sure if they do that, but.
Yeah, that sucks though.
Why I'm looking forward to the old Call of Duty campaigns coming out on the Game Pass, because it's like you don't have to download any kind of launcher or any kind of thing, because then that's what Call of Duty is. It's just a launcher that you
true.
Jump off of like multiplayer and then campaigns and everything like that, and Warzone. Yeah, kind of like how Fortnite or Roblox is a launcher now, basically, for their own experiences.
Man, I always wonder what will it take for me to get excited about Call of Duty. And I don't know. I haven't been excited for Call of Duty since after Modern Warfare 2. She's like, I don't know, man.
The last one? Yeah. I thought I was going to be excited for
No. The original one.
The original Modern Warfare 2. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, I've liked Call of Duty.
Yeah, I think they're good games always, but just can't get excited about them anymore. I don't know. It's probably just too much for me.
It is a lot. I was really excited for the modern Warfare trilogy. But I've kind of fallen off of it. Modern Warfare 3 kind of soured me on it. I've never really been into Black Ops either. So Black Ops 6 is coming out. There is a rumor or a meme or a joke that 9/11 is going to be involved in Black Ops 6.
Yeah, I did hear that.
That would be fun.
Yeah, what the fuck are you going to do?
Honestly, I'm here for it. Call of Duty no Russian. Come on, no Russian changed the game in terms of being controversial. So yeah, I'm down for Call of Duty being totally just like disrespectful like that. Let's go.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah, just fuck it. Just be about Israel and Gaza. Fuck it.
Yeah,
just go
very
for
topical,
it. Yeah, just go super topical, because like they avoid it all the time too. So it's like, no, just fucking go for it. Go 9/11.
Yeah,
it's been long enough. Anyways, it's been over 20 years. Fucking 9/11
Yeah.
is older than Paper Mario, A Thousand Year Door. That's how
Wow.
old it is.
Yeah. What a funny conversation. Comparing Paper Mario to 9/11. Jeez.
9/11
Sorted
is older
out.
than GTA 3 and Metal Gear Solid 2.
That's true. Yeah, it
For
is.
Christ's sake. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorted out, man. I'm trying to think, man. I don't know. I've been kind of vacant from the gaming news. I don't really know. I did see the Neil thing, and that is a very good one.
Mm.
I can't think of anything like that I've seen where I've been like, "What are you guys doing?" kind of thing.
Yeah, not since like Tango, the Tango
Yeah, Tango
event
still
for
hurts
Xbox.
badly.
Um,
Fuck, man. Now I'm bummed. I forgot about Tango for a second. Sorted out, dude. Fucking Tango, man. What are you doing? I'm still.
mhm,
I'm talking about it's over though, but I'm still mad about it.
mhm.
You sons of bitches.
I
How
think
dare
we'll
you?
be mad about it forever.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people that has stained the Xbox legacy for good. I think.
Yeah, that's like that's such a bad hit, man, for us.
Mhm.
For like gamers like us too who loved their work. Like I
Yeah.
don't think their stuff sold probably very strong, which is a real shame, but I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just a bummer cuz their
Doesn't
games are
look.
good.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
All their
there's a ton
games
of
are
news right
good
now. No.
games. Really good games, I'd say. Great games. Evil Within, the DLCs were great. Evil Within 2,
Mm-hmm.
Ghostwire, Hi-Fi Rush, all really great games.
Yeah, Evil Within 2 was I always thought of it as just one of the best, like top 5 survival horror game of
It's
all
very
time.
good, yeah.
Period. Yeah,
It's very good.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Alan Wake 2 guys were saying that Evil Within 2 was a huge inspiration, and yeah, I can see it.
yeah, the coffee, man.
Story
Drinking the
was good, the
coffee.
coffee, the open world, the
Yeah.
weapons.
Yeah, totally.
Just fucking walk into a random house and like realizing it's fucking haunted and there's like no
Yeah.
enemies there. Incredible stuff.
Yeah. Just reopen the team, all right? Xbox, just say you fucked up and
Yeah,
hired one
seriously, man.
guy.
Just own it and just say you fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah, just be
sorry,
like,
we
oh
didn't.
shit, sorry.
Oh, we didn't know that. We didn't know. We just say that. It's okay. It's okay.
Mhm.
Oh, we didn't know. We didn't know. We didn't know.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, fuck.
It would be better than if you just kept it closed.
Yeah.
Know? It would be a lot better.
Yeah.
It would solve a lot of issues, I think, for your PR.
Yeah.
But
All right, Gene,
you can't put a price on, man. You can't put a price on that. That's
No.
what Satya or Microsoft doesn't understand. You
No,
can't put a price
can't.
on people like that.
Let's get a little more positive now. Let's talk about Keep It Up. Who's doing great? Who are we very excited for? Sorry, I should give some enthusiasm to that. Keep it up! Like we just sorted out. Who are we pleased with right now? Who's doing great work? Gene, do you want to start or do you want to go through the listeners again?
Let's go to the listeners again.
Okay. This is from Rays09. Greetings, Summoned Duo. I just finished Returnal last week and just want to say, keep it up, Housemark. This has instantly become my favorite PS5 exclusive. The gameplay, the music, and the story are all on another level. I would love to know how was your experience with the game and what are your overall thoughts about it? Cheers. Well, Rays, I reviewed this when I was back at Easy Allies. I think I gave it an 8.5. So a great game. I thought it was really great.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Returnal. I think it has just gotten better after they've patched it and everything too. Really fun game. There's the DLC I have not played yet, which I really want to. The Tower Hephaestus or something. But I think Returnal is an awesome game. I really, really, really enjoyed it. And to me, that like put Housemark. I enjoyed Housemark before, but to me, that was like a big step up for that studio. So I'm very excited for whatever they're doing next. Gene, what are your thoughts on Returnal?
I did not like Returnal at first. I thought it was really, really hard. I thought it was I thought it was really restrictive. I thought it was unusually punishing. And then I just played it more and I got better.
Mm-hmm. You know? You had that aha moment.
Yeah. It just started to click, and then I forgot who Housemark was, and who like what their legacy is in terms of like just coming from like the classic shooter genre, and just being descendants of like the old arcade 3D shooters, like Tempest or whatever, or even Galaga. And so when I started to think of, Returnal as like a Space Invaders like evolution, I started to really, really appreciate it, and then you start seeing the bullet hell, and then you're like, oh, that's what they're doing. They really are trying to redefine the shooter in this new space. And of course, I was just getting better at the game, so I was just enjoying the game, and I beat it. And yeah, I think I would consider Returnal as probably like top 3 PS5 exclusive.
Yeah,
honestly.
It's really good.
Really, really good.
Yeah, really cool story too.
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, I actually thought the story was okay. Like, I thought the story was good and that it didn't get in the way too much. I was really glad about that,
which was nice.
I was worried that it would, and maybe the house parts of it were kind of corny. I didn't really like those. But everything regarding the monsters and like the where she's going and the aliens and everything like that, fuck, it's a better exploration of psychosis and mental illness than Hellblade 2 is, quite frankly. It really is. It's a lot more compelling. There's a lot more interesting visuals. The gameplay is better. It thematically, it's a lot stronger. It connects with the character a lot more. A lot deeper. It tells the story in an interesting way. Yeah. Yeah, Returnal.
Yeah, we highly recommend it here. And if you're worried about the difficulty, because it is a challenging game, if you got a buddy, it's co-op. You can play the whole thing co-op, which makes it much easier.
Much, much easier. Yeah.
Much easier. Yeah. But I think playing single player is the way to go, but co-op is an option. All right, this is from Davey Supol. What's up to the hottest sex symbols of the gaming world? I want to give my keep it up to Diablo 4. With Blizzard seemingly always making the wrong decision, I gotta give them props for turning the boat around on D4. The last 2 seasons have been a joke. This new season is incredible. They have fixed so many quality of life issues and dramatically overhauled big issues players have had with the game. It's just such a fun game to play right now. It's almost silly. You constantly get endorphin hits from destroying hordes of enemies with a single attack, getting great gear constantly, always progressing, and building your character out to destroy opponents in PvP. I'm loving it. I'm hooked once again, and it feels great. Diablo, shit, keep it up. Have a 2 hosts, 1 pod kind of day. I have heard more positive things about this new season Diablo, so that's great news. Love to see it. Blizzard definitely feels like they make a lot of mistakes. So it's good to see them get a win because they need them. Even if it's a smaller win, they still need them. And we'll see how they do with that expansion coming up for D4. Whatever the hell it's called again. But yeah, we'll see. I'm always rooting for Blizzard. They're one of my local devs, but
that's right.
Sometimes they make it hard. I'm just like, what are you fuckers doing? You sons of bitches. All right. This is from Papa Biscuit. Keep it up, fighting games. The awesome DLC, new characters, the balance updates, and the FGC media content. Fighting games are eating good in 2024. And Gene, what do you think of Beatrix, the new Grand Blue Fantasy Rising character? Beatrix, 2B, or Eve? Yeah, look, I had to look her up. I didn't know who she was.
Yeah, okay, Grand Blue. Did she just come out or something, or?
I think she's coming out. She must be a new DLC character.
There you go. Joins. Yeah, she's great. I'm into redheads.
There you go.
I am actually really into redheads. My last girlfriend was a redhead. And,
redheads, okay.
Actually, this fortune teller in Hawaii who has been very good about telling fortunes to people. She told me that. Very specifically, she would tell people's fortunes about their fucking like lives or like their family or whatever like that. Very specifically, she said that I would end up with a southern girl who had red hair. A ginger girl from the south.
Interesting.
So I'm still waiting for her.
The prophecy. We just gotta wait. Who do you like more though, Beatrix, 2B, or Eve, Gene?
Oh, 2B, totally. Come on.
From a design standpoint, I think 2B, is just so... her design is very good.
Yeah, even personality-wise, too.
Yeah, she's
like,
great.
Eve is like nothing going on there, so...
Yeah, 2B is great. Love 2B. Yeah. All right, this is from James Hill. Hey, blowjob brothers. Keep it up, Nintendo. Yeah. Keep it up, Nintendo, for actually having a sustainable release cadence. Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door was classified last June and was held till a soft spot. Nintendo has also done this with Metroid Prime Remastered, Fire Emblem Engage, and Xenoblade 3. Oh, and Xenoblade 3 was scooched up several months when Splatoon 3 needed more time. Why can't PlayStation and Xbox do this? Probably because Sony's first parties are making pretentious copy and paste third person over their shoulders, and Microsoft can't manage themselves out of a wet paper bag. Nintendo is really saying, fuck the big three, it's just me. Well, damn, James. I don't know. Well, I will say Sony and Xbox are probably making much more expensive games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not a game developer, so I don't know.
I think about this in terms of the recent news that Call of Duty is going to be on PS4 and Xbox One again.
Right.
And I look at the news about how half of the PSN users are just basically on PS4, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Nintendo made the right call a long time ago that people don't need to have that much technology, very, very loud, John Linneman over at Digital Foundry quote tweeted somebody that says, I don't want my PlayStation 5 to have kiddie games like Astrobot. They should be having adult games like The Last of Us and God of War. So I like, as loud as that mentality is, I don't think that is a majority of people. I think a lot of people are just fine with the technology that they have. Obviously, the Switch is the best selling console, and just one this generation. Come on, and people are still playing the PS4 and the Xbox One. And those are still fine, and that level of technology is still fine for most people. So I don't think
a lot of the games people are playing on those are Call of Duty and like sports games. A lot of those kind of people. There's a lot of people out there that just play those kind of games, and they haven't had to upgrade, so they're not upgrading. Yeah, they're fine with playing whatever they will. I think GTA 5 or 6, like
GTA 6 is going to be
will be one where a lot of people start to buy new consoles because they have to now. If you're not giving a lot of people a reason, like where you have to buy it, they're not going to upgrade. Especially if they're still getting new games. You do have to eventually cut them off if you want them to hop into the newer things. And a lot of them will, but some probably won't. But if you're catering to a lot of the older consoles, people are just going to keep playing on there because they don't care. They're fine with it.
Yeah, and we still haven't really had that one game to really upgrade to the next generation. What's the game in a decade? Or what's the game in a generation?
The game of the generation is Elden Ring, but
yeah, it's the game that we're about to talk about. Yeah,
it's on last gen still,
and it's on last gen. I played through. I did a whole run of Elden Ring on PS4. Just to try it out.
Yeah,
I had a great time. It was fantastic.
Yeah, like GTA 6 will be that game when it comes out, but that's still a ways off. So
it's gonna be so fun to watch the console sales go up with GTA 6.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a wild time. Do you think it'll be on Switch too? I feel like it will.
I feel like that they would have to try to figure out some way to.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, Rockstar has been so quiet. They did put out Red Dead Redemption on the Switch.
That's true. You're right. That is a PS3 game, though, I guess, or a 360 game. But
well, I mean,
it's still something.
Well, at least in terms of like the interest, they did put out the GTA trilogy on there too. So I think like the interest, I think the interest is there is really the technology. So it really depends on how scalable GTA 6 is and what the final product looks.
They didn't put 5 on there though. And I wonder if that has to do with online stuff.
I don't know. I don't know why they didn't put 5 on there.
GTA Online, I wonder if Nintendo's how they handle is much different. Yeah, that makes me wonder about 6. Because obviously GTA Online is going to be a huge part of that game. Probably the biggest part of the game. So.
With the way things are going and things are going not great, right? In the games industry and everything and the way things are trending. What if GTA 6 is like a 6-hour campaign and it's mostly online? It's mostly online.
That'd be wild. 6-hour campaign, mostly online.
Yeah.
Well,
You know that
At least,
I have fears about that Rockstar has gone so far into the GTA Online
I
space.
mean, it's going to be big GT Online, but
It's going to be
I
big
don't,
GTA Online, but
I don't think
yeah,
it's going to be as long as like Red Dead 2 or anything like that. But I think it's going to be meaty. I think it'll be pretty meaty still.
I hope it's not a long Red Dead 2. Red Dead
No,
2
I
was
don't
way
think it
too long.
will. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, I love Red Dead 2. I love it, but it is a long game.
yeah, love the game, but yeah, there were everyone knows the sections that they could have cut out, but yeah.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think GTA 6. I'm thinking like GTA 6 is just going to be a big ass fucking game. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
Thinking
going to
about
be a
how
huge
big
game.
that map's going to be or whatever, how crazy
Yeah,
it's
I'm
going
sure
to
it's going
be.
to be massive. I can't wait. Yeah.
All right. So, oh, here we go. Oh no, wait, we got that one. So, Gene, let's talk about who we think is doing great. Our keep it ups. Kind of
Mm,
hard this week. I don't know. Like I guess, Gene, we did hear that at least we got a little word, a little bit about Dragon Quest. So that's
mhm.
nice. That's I mean, Dragon Quest is so annoying. We barely get anything about that series, but it is
Yeah.
nice to hear it's multi-platform now and everything, which is great.
Mhm.
So good job, Square Enix, even though you're not showing anything.
I
But
guess
I'll
keep it a
take what I
big.
can get.
I guess keep it a big mode. You know, Animal Wells
Oh
is a
yeah,
hit, right?
Animal
So
Well. I haven't played that yet.
yeah, I played a little bit. I'm just not into the. I'm just not in the mood for Metroidvania right now. So I'm just not.
Sure.
I just can't play it. So
Yeah. I've been playing Symphony of the Night on the side and Rondo of Blood, going for that platinum. And I just spent last night just like filling in the map for a trophy, dude. I'm like, man, this
yeah.
game is so sick still. It's so good. And I played through as Richter recently. Still fun, man.
Oh hell yeah.
Still hell of a game. All right, Gene. Let's talk about Elden Ring. The DLC is fast approaching, Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Mhm.
Everyone is excited. I'm very excited. You're very excited. Everyone who's got a brain is very excited. I'm just kidding, everyone out there who doesn't care. But Gene, you've revisited the game, or you've been going through it again
Mhm.
to prep for the DLC. Tell me, what has your experience been like now, years separated from the launch?
Yeah. I my review copy in 2022 was on PC.
Same.
I never finished my original run on the PC. So I finished that one, and that so my PC version is ready. I'm sitting in front of Mog's in front of the
Mm-hmm.
Mog egg right now.
I think I am too. Yeah.
Yeah, so my runs are not going to be killing Malekith.
Okay.
I'm not going to the crumbling Farum Azula. I'm not going to even burn the Erd Tree yet. I'm going to keep the world state as it is for now, and see where that goes.
Okay.
Because
You're
I'm
thinking
also
about
not
extra
killing.
content, like
Yeah, I'm also not
dialogue or
killing
something?
Millennia at all to either. So I fucked up on the PS5 version and the PC. You know what? I think I need. Fuck. You're right. I need to. God damn it! I need to start a new PC run.
Another
Right.
one.
Huh? Another one. Yeah, because I
Another
killed
one?
Millennia in that one. But
Oh.
I want one where Millennia. I want Millennia alive because who
Mm,
knows what
with
could change
yeah,
with Mikola
Mikola.
going on, right?
Yeah.
Because the DLC is all about Mikola, kindly Mikola. You know, this
Mm-hmm.
character whose face we can't even see throughout this entire last 2 years, which is so fascinating, so enigmatic and intriguing. But yeah, I'm wondering if there's going to be any dialogue when you fight Millennia after going through Erdtree. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, so on the PS5, uh, I had to remind myself of all the missable quests. So I'm actually using guides for that now.
Mm-hmm.
Because on the PS5, I tried to do a regular quest where I just try to do things off memory, and I got to Volcano Manor, and Volcano Manor is short enough, but also complicated enough that I was like, well, I'm already here and I'm already in the mindset of Volcano Manor. Let me just let me just finish it, right? I finished it, and I totally fucking forgot that Volcano Manor has like all these quest lines
Yeah.
attached to it in the dining hall. I missed all of that, and I missed getting my favorite armor set, the Raging Wolf armor set, which is
Oh, the box art armor.
yeah,
Yeah. Dude,
which is the box art armor. You know, I
that
always
armor
wanted.
is like a hassle to get for being the box art armor. It's
It's
very strange.
crazy. I can't
Yeah.
believe that the box art armor is completely missable.
Yeah.
If you don't do those quests, you're not getting that armor at all
And
ever.
you don't get it for a while either.
You don't
But
get it for a while
it's
either. Yeah,
really
you get
sick armor set. It's so good.
yeah, you don't get it until the second half of the game. It's a good armor set. It's strong. It looks cool. It's the
Yeah.
one that was on the trailers. Yes, exactly. The Raging Wolf armor. So cool. So I have a completed the save. That also killed Melania. So I was like, okay, well, I didn't get the wolf armor set. I also killed Melania. So let me just start another run on PS5. So I'm doing that right now. I'm in I'm in the middle of that. I'm pretty much almost done. I have cleared everything. I'm just going to the snow the mountaintops, the mountaintops of the giants.
Hmm.
I just got there, and I think I'm just gonna chill for a bit. I'm gonna go to Moog and kill him, uh, and just chill for a bit. Finish off the Volcano Manor course. I did get the Raging Wolf armor set this time, so I have that
All
now.
right.
So that's
Nice.
all. That's all well and good. I finished Ronnie's quest as well too. Uh, so I have the Dark Moon Greatsword. That's up to +9 already too, baby. Um, I have Blythe's armor set. I have
Oh
Ronnie's
yeah.
wing ready to go for that ending. I also always go for the Ronnie ending. I never go for any
It's a
other
good
ending.
ending. It's
You
my
know,
favorite ending too.
it
Or the
just feels like the
chaos
ending.
one also is my favorite, where you just
The
burn
chaos one is good too.
everything.
Yeah, I think the chaos one, the Frenzy Flame one, was the one that R&B singer The Weeknd got actually. Which is really funny, and it's really funny how some of these celebrities like go really far in the game. Like I was watching
Yeah.
Tyson Hat, and I was like, holy shit, he found the two gargoyles, um, that you fight in the underground, and those two
Yeah.
gargoyles are actually pretty hard to find.
Hmm.
I don't know how to find them right now. I'm actually trying.
Mm.
I'm trying to remember how to find them, and I'm trying to work off memory. So part of the challenge of replaying Elden Ring is trying to work off memory and seeing where things are. And turns out my memory's not that good. I forgot how to even get to the Noxtron Eternal City. Um, you
Oh,
know,
where Moog is?
yeah,
Are
where
you talking about that?
where not even where Moog is, where you continue the rest of Ronnie's quest
Oh,
line.
right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I totally forgot that there's like a offshoot side that you have to like go on to like some ledges on the side of a building just to
Hmm.
get there. Really hidden stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. Revisiting Elden Ring. I thought that I would just get burned out on it, and maybe I was, but just having a task list to do has been really fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
totally.
yeah, so I've just been going around getting all the bell bearings too. So just clearing out the caves, and yeah, just making sure that I'm all leveled up. Hitting the soft caps on everything. Yeah, just having a great time. Elden Ring, what a fantastic game.
Yeah.
It just reminds me uh, just how good it was. John Romero, the one of the creators of Doom, he had his autobiography last year, and he talks about how sad he was that he never got to finish his true vision for Quake.
Hmm.
So for people who don't know, Quake is obviously the game that revolutionized 3D first person shooters, right? But before that, it was supposed to be a fantasy game that was based off of John's Dungeons and Dragons character, Quake. Uh,
Oh. Hmm.
and Quake was supposed to be a fantasy game where he wields like a sword and a hammer, and like he has all these magic spells. And then he's playing Elden Ring, and he's like, "This is what I wanted Quake to be." you know, it's like I wanted to be this all powerful character running around the world, killing dungeons and killing all these godly monsters.
Yeah.
So it's really incredible how Elden Ring is really a dream game for so many people.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then so I'm playing it 2 years later now, and I'm like, holy shit, I still can't believe they made this game. You know,
Yeah.
um,
It's extremely impressive video game.
yeah,
It's
and yeah, the Shadow the Erdtree trailer is incredible. You realize that with Elden Ring, the trailers have become part of the experience.
hmm they
The
have.
very first trailer for Elden Ring shows a figure hammering away, right? Like a blacksmith. And you can't tell whether that's a man or a woman. Who is that?
Hmm.
And you don't really understand the twists of that until you get to the very end of the fucking game at Elden
Yeah.
Ring. And you
And you
realize,
still might
oh
not even.
shit,
Yeah.
and yeah, and even at that point, you might not even get it.
Hmm.
But the trailers are part of the experience. So I'm watching the Shadow of the Erdtree trailer. I'm like, there is stuff here that we probably won't even see at all in the game.
Yeah.
And like this is probably just telling this trailer is prep. Absolutely.
Yeah, they show sometimes their trailers, they're not even in the game. Like the
Yeah.
CG stuff.
And then this Shadow the Erdtree trailer was so incredible. What's fun is that you look at Mesmer, and he reminds me of Lady Maria. Where it's like
Sure.
you're obviously the cover, you're the cover boss, but you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to be the Orphan
The
of Cause.
final boss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm
It's
wondering
probably
who the Orphan of Cause is for Shadow Erdtree. Is it going to be Mikola? What Mikola is going to look like? I'm so intrigued by what Mikola is going to look like. I'm so fascinated with Mikola, the character themselves, he and her.
Mm-hmm.
Who also happens to be Saint Trina, right?
Yep.
And we even see Saint Trina fall in that trailer, which is just so incredible. And then so like I'm playing Elden Ring right now, and then you just see Mikola's presence everywhere across the lands between, like Mikola's lily and Saint Trina's lily, and then even when you're going underground, and Trina's lily is underneath there, and you're finding Mikola's flowers everywhere, and you're just like, what were you doing
Mm-hmm.
throughout this entire game? What was your plan? You know, you try to make a Halig tree, and then we saw what happened to that. But then what else is going on though? Um, yeah, I just can't wait, and
Yeah.
and
I'm so
and
excited.
I think it speaks to how well Elden Ring told its story. That so many of us are able to watch the trailer and kind of understand what's going on and get really excited about what we're seeing. Even Kai Cenat was watching the Shadow of the Erdtree trailer, and then when he saw the characters touching the grace, he was like, "That's me."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, dude, that is you. That might not even be him.
Yeah.
Those are specifically 7 characters, so that they could be characters that we have to fight in the game. Or
I think they're gonna be characters that are
yeah,
actual characters in the game.
yeah, I think they might be like 7 saints or something. And also, there are 7 wandering turtles around the lands between too, with tombs.
Oh yeah, the tomb guys. Yeah.
Yeah, the tomb guys.
Okay.
There are
Interesting.
7 of those too. So who knows? Then they could be
Who
related to
knows?
those.
Lots of fun things to think about. Definitely.
That's the fascinating thing. I'm walking around Elden Ring right now. I'm walking around the lands between. I'm getting so excited because it's like this could be a connection. This could be a connection. There's so much history and story that they already told in the game.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like I'm playing the game like new again, which has been really really fun.
That's good. Yeah.
Even though I know so much information and I know exactly like where some of the
Mm-hmm.
bell bearings are, or like how to finish Ronnie's quest line, or to get the steps to do that. I'm still discovering things I never found out too before. I found a merchant at the Carrion Manor that I never found before.
Oh, cool.
Just fall off the cliffside where Lieutenant's Knight is. If you fall off a ledge and there's or not even Lieutenant's Knight, but off Ronnie's Rise, there's a whole ledge that you can fall off, and there's a whole vendor that I never found before, and that's right above a save point, which is crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that was the first run through Elden Ring was something very special. I reviewed it too, also, and it's just like, man, no outside noise.
I actually never reviewed it. I actually never finished my review for it.
Oh, okay, but you got it. You were playing it early though, weren't you?
I was playing it early, obviously. Yeah. But yeah.
Just no outside noise. I had no idea what anyone else thought in the game. It's just me in the game. No distractions. Nothing to look up. You can't even look up anything. Even if
you can't look up anything.
You got to figure it all out, and it was so fun, man. I had such a fun time playing through that game. I didn't find. I remember I spent so long trying to figure out how to get on Ronnie's Rise or whatever, where her quest line ends or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah. That cliffside, right? Where
I just couldn't figure it out. Like,
the Moonlight Altar. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like going around. I'm like, how the fuck do you get up there? Then I realized like her quest line. I was like, oh, no wonder I missed that shit.
Yeah, me too. I remember spending an hour like along that cliffside, like finding any kind of clay cave or any kind of thing that like the horse can jump onto. Yeah,
and I didn't find Moog's Palace either the first time, but everything else I did find. But it was awesome. I love that game. I do think it's still. I wrote this in my review. I think it's one of the best open world games of all time, easily. I wanted to give that game a 10 so bad when it came out, but the PC port just wasn't up to snuff at the time.
Mm,
And I gave it a 9.5. And I
mm.
remember people gave me shit because I didn't give it a 10, but I was like, it's not good. The PC version is not good as much as I love it. It's not
Yeah.
good, man. But it's been fixed a lot more, so that's good to know.
It still crashes on me sometimes, actually.
That sucks. I don't get crashes, but that does
I
suck.
still get crashes on my Steam Deck, which is crazy.
Oh, maybe Steam Deck. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess maybe Steam Deck. Yeah,
that.
but I've crashed twice on it. These last, I was really surprised. I couldn't believe it.
That sucks.
So
I've beaten.
That's why I wanted to switch up to the PS5.
Yeah,
so I've been playing that too.
I think I've beaten Elden Ring 5 times now.
I've beaten it 7 times.
5 or 6 times. But a lot of them are fresh playthroughs. I think I only did one New Game Plus playthrough, I think. I actually really like starting over in those games every time. I think the progression is really fun.
It's satisfying, yeah.
Like building up your character and all that stuff. Yeah. I have like 5 characters ready for the DLC, ready to go. I have I'm gonna play on PC first. Well, probably primarily. And I have my original character from my review all set up, ready to go. So I'm very excited to play on that again. Yeah, and like, I'm extremely excited for the DLC. If you guys haven't played From Software DLCs, also, like, if this is gonna be your first one, their DLCs are very good. Really,
sometimes
good.
They're better
than the main game.
Yeah. They're either better than the base game, or they make the base game so much better.
Yeah.
Bloodborne's case, it was both, and the Old Hunters was one not only better than a lot of the main game, but it made the main game so much better because it introduced so much more cooler weapons.
Yeah, and this game's gonna do that, and this will add that too. There's gonna be a lot of fun new weapons in this. I'm very excited to see what they got cooking. Yeah. And the bosses are insane. Obviously, you guys know playing them. Best bosses in the biz every time. No one even comes close From Software. So I'm really excited. Gene, how's the exploration felt for you revisiting the open world? It definitely gave me that feeling that I love in games. Like, my favorite thing in games is like when I got that feeling from Breath of the Wild of just exploring this vast world. That's like my favorite shit in games, I think. Like exploring the lands between was such a treat, just figuring out stuff going through it. How's it holding up for you this time?
Yeah, it's still holding up. I'm still finding caves that I never found before, actually, which is crazy. I played this game 7 times and there's still things I haven't found. I'm remembering how I found certain things and kind of reliving that experience, you can never really play a game the first time ever again, right?
No.
And Elden Ring would be one of those games where I feel like I would I was also sick when I played it too. So like if there's a game that I wish I could start over fresh again, that would be Elden Ring would definitely be one of them. But yeah, just going through the world again, it's just so much fun. Caelid has been fun.
Caelid,
but it's actually the later levels that I feel like I'm discovering the most, like Altus Plateau. I remember I rushed through that a lot, so I've been taking I've been taking it pretty slow there. Mount Gilmer too, all around the Volcano Manor area. I completely forgot how to get to the other side of Volcano Manor, at the bottom area of the castle there. So that was fun to kind of re-explore and rediscover. And yeah, I'm still being surprised at the level design, at the world design. I was watching
it's top tier.
Yeah, I was watching a YouTuber, Never Knows Best, who I really, really like. I love his video essays. He's one of the best video essayists out there. But he didn't like Elden Ring that much. He called Elden Ring disappointing. And I listened to what he was saying, and he said that he didn't really like the world design that much. I was a little surprised at that because I actually thought that the world design was so good. I thought it was.
I think it's some of the best open world design easily.
Yeah, I think
open world game has better world design than that.
I don't know. I think it's incredible how everything kind of loops back together. I think it's remarkable how even the underground works. It's crazy how like you can go from the Shifra river well all the way up to the Ainsel river well or whatever. The way it all ties together. Yeah, obviously it's not as tight as Dark Souls was, and I still consider Dark Souls 1 the best one. Even though obviously Dark Souls 1 completely fucking falls apart by the end of the game, right? Obviously it totally falls apart. Shits the bed, by the end, right? But I think Elden Ring even kind of starts to kind of wobble a bit towards the end. The Haley Tree level was a little long. Maybe it didn't need to
Oh,
be that
sure.
big. Um, some of the encounters in Farm Missoula are really really hard. Maybe they don't need to be that long. Um, but still, it's just someone's game.
Yeah.
Um,
So much optional content in that
yeah,
game.
it's just a lot of optional content too, and it's like, yeah, you don't have to, and
Yeah,
it's
you don't
like,
have to do it.
yeah, and it's
You
like,
get what
oh,
you want out of it.
yeah, and maybe the game isn't as good as Dark Souls 1 and replays, and I used to say that, but I replayed the game like 9 times now, Elden Ring. So
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, no, I think actually Elden Ring is actually really really replayable.
Yeah, I think so too, because I
Yeah.
replayed it a lot. Obviously, if you try to do everything to open the world every time, you might burn yourself out.
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to do right now, because I'm trying to like create like a perfect save. Um, so that's why, like, I'm even doing like the fucking Shibiri grapes quests. I'm
Hmm.
doing like every little quest that I think I could remember to do. You
Yeah.
know, even the Nefeli. I even did Seluvis's quests, all the way up to getting the poison for Ronnie. I didn't give it to her, of course, because
Right.
she is Bay. So, um, but yeah, I'm just trying to do everything I can. So yeah, if you try to do that, then obviously it's very exhausting. But
Yeah.
it's a fun game to speed run. It's a
Yeah.
fun game to do fun little challenges for yourself.
So many builds too.
Yeah,
So much
so
variety.
many different ways to approach the game. Like this other streamer who's not even like a speedrunner. He was like, let me just see if I can beat this in 12 hours. You know,
Yeah. There's a
you
lot
can
you can do.
have so many little fun challenges for yourself.
Yeah, with Burnout too, it's like I've beaten all their games so many times. I got burnt out on every single one.
Hmm.
It's just the way it is because I played the
Yeah,
shit out of them.
yeah,
It's
because
like,
you're just playing. Yeah, you're just playing the shit out of them
yeah,
because
because
they're
they're
so
so
good.
good.
That's
Yeah,
why you're burning out on them.
yeah, exactly.
So
All
yeah.
right, let's hear from listeners. Matthew Christ wrote in Summon Seaman. Okay, so Elden Ring is my third favorite game of all time. Cool
Mm.
bosses have a lot to do with it. My favorite is Malekith. What's y'all's?
Mm.
Tough. Malekith definitely was one of my favorites.
Malekith was cool. He was like
So
animation
sick.
central. So many
Yeah,
animations for that guy.
so cool, man. Such a good fight. I love it.
Unbelievable. They showed him off in like a trailer too, like an early trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Favorite boss fights. This is. I really got to think. I think Radahn's actually really cool.
I think
I
Radon.
really like the setup and everything, like the
Mhm,
festival and the battlefield, and being able to summon the people for the festival. I think is really awesome.
mhm,
And his riding his tiny little horse, Leonard, so good.
mhm.
I love all that shit.
I think
The
Radon.
where he crashes into the ground too.
Yeah,
Everyone got fake psyched out by that the first time. I was like, wait, what the
yeah.
fuck happened? I was like, did the game glitch out or something?
Such a great moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so good.
I do think Radon is kind of like peak in terms of like the set piece and the fight,
Yeah.
the arena, the animations, the lore behind him is so interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think he would be my favorite probably. I think Millennia is great too.
Yeah, she's
Um,
great.
yeah,
I like a lot of the fights. I like Horror Lou. A lot.
Orlu's great.
Yeah. I actually like I think it's Godric. He's like the grafted one.
Yeah,
Godric the grafted. I think that's actually a cool fight. He looks
the first
awesome
Great
and
Moon.
stuff.
Yeah. He had cool phases. The Dragon Arm phases was
Mm-hmm.
awesome. I actually
Really
even like
fun.
Estelle, the
Oh,
space
sure. Yeah.
creature. They were
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Um, I would say that Bloodborne still has my favorite bosses of all time, though.
Sure. Yeah, which one's in Bloodborne?
Um, Ludwig, and
Oh yeah, great
it's
fight.
all old hunters. It's Ludwig
Yeah.
and Lady Maria. I
Yeah.
think are the
Yeah,
two.
those are excellent.
Ludwig itself was just like, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
Very
oh my god.
cinematic.
Yeah, like story wise, I was like, oh my god, it's actually Ludwig. Like we found him, and
Mm-hmm.
then you fight him, and then and then when you realize that the Moonlight Greatsword was there the whole time,
Yeah.
and then he starts,
Super good.
and then he remembers like a semblance of his humanity. He stands up upright. I was crying. I was like this is Ludwig is the greatest boss fight I've ever had in a game. I think.
Yeah. It's
Um,
very good.
it was just like peak gameplay, peak storytelling. I was even doing it with a co-op partner, so that was amazing too. Like we were both like just like going absolutely nuts over it. It was just like a core memory. And then Lady Maria is just such a good fight too. You know.
Yeah, really cool.
Um,
My favorite fight of all time is Ishin in the end of Sekiro.
That's my least favorite fight.
That's my favorite boss fight of all time.
Fuck Ishin.
I love that shit. It's so sick, man. It's such an epic 3 phases. Then the lightning comes out.
Genichiro is my favorite fight in Sekiro. Both fights.
Genichiro, that's a good fight.
Or every version of Sekiro or Genichiro is excellent. Even the last one too.
Yeah, and you're just fighting in the field and it's stormy. You're throwing lightning back and forth. It's so awesome. He has the gun. Super fun.
Oh, Ishin, yeah.
Yeah, that's like my favorite shit.
Yeah. Ishin is the hardest boss I ever fought. I was stuck on him for 3 days. I did not have fun fighting him. Ishin was so not fun for me that it made me dislike Sekiro, actually.
Damn.
Which Sekiro was great, fantastic. Objectively, I think it's fantastic, but it made me like the game less as a result.
Well, whenever you revisit it, I'm curious what you think about it.
I might have to revisit it because everything else was perfect, really. You know, I still think it's the greatest sword combat system of all time, right? And if I was better at Ishin, then I probably would think that too. You know, but I just could not figure out Ishin, and it was just like it was not fun for me. It was Millennia was actually getting close, but for some reason I was having more fun with Millennia. But I think it's because the reason why I had more fun with Millennia is because Elden Ring is an RPG and Sekiro is not. You know, Sekiro you have a hard wall. It's either you're a skill or that's it. Millennia, I was actually trying to figure out a build, which was fun. You know, so that was always engaging. It brought me back to Armored Core. It was an Armored Core game all of a sudden. You know,
building out your mech. Yeah, totally. Let's see. This is from Gabe. Hello, sussy boys. I just started Elden Ring for the first time. It's also my first Soulsborne. Any tips on getting started and finding my groove? What skills, like parrying or dodging, should I get good at for the combat? Thanks for all you do. P.S. Gene, you looked sexy as fuck in the Rolling Stone article. Thank you, Gabe. Well, you said what skills like parrying and dodging? Focus on dodging more.
Yeah.
You don't need to parry in Elden Ring. You don't.
You don't need to parry at all. I never parry.
You don't have to at all.
Yeah, I never parry, period.
Yeah. That's the Sekiro thing. Don't worry about it here. You just get good at dodging. That's the main thing you should focus on.
That's exactly what Kai Cenat got good at. He just got super good at dodging because he kept fighting the tree sentinel. He didn't do anything else in the game but try to fight the tree sentinel.
He beat his head against the wall for a while, I assume.
It was 5 hours of him fighting the tree sentinel. He didn't do anything else in the game but
it always makes me laugh when people do that. Their first
time playing. His friend came in and said, like, guys, but this is optional though. Only people who are really, really good at Souls games would even try to do this right now. Go level up, go do something else. He's always going to be here. You can come back. And Kai was like, yeah, but he's right here though. And he kept going for 3 more hours and he finally beat him. And then,
it's funny.
But then he got really, really good at dodging. When you see him in later fights, like he's rolling through every like there'll be like 4 hit combo strings, and he's rolling through every single one smoothly.
Yeah.
So yeah, just get good at dodging, and you'll get through the game no problem.
So magic is always good in these games for a start. So if you're curious about that, you can do like a magic build, like sorcery or something. You can zap people from far away. Always the easier stuff. Also, in this game, Spirit Ashes, very good. Very good. Use them in combat and boss fights if you like. They will help you a lot. But yeah, Gene, what do you think? Any tips you would say?
Play it like a role-playing game, especially this one more than any other. I keep trying to tell Colin that he doesn't need to be bashing his head against the wall in these games. He could play it like a Dragon Quest game. Go around, go explore, go fight mobs and level up. You know, just fight the trash mobs. Especially since this is your first Souls game. You know what I did at Elden Ring? Even though I'm a Souls veteran, I hung out at that second bonfire, like right outside the gate, where you get the map for Limgrave. And there's a ruins, and then there's a little underground area where you get the whetstone,
Yeah,
right?
that's where you get torrent.
Yeah, where you get torrent and everything. I just hung around there, and I just kept fighting those guys over and over again. I would fight them
Just
one at a
practice. Yep.
time, and then I would fight them several at a time to practice to practice how I manage mobs. And the entire time I was leveling up. I was getting points.
Mm-hmm.
And by that time I was plenty strong enough to fight Margit already,
Yeah.
or taking care of the Weeping Peninsula down there. So go explore, go fight trash mobs. Go practice rolling on those mobs too. That tutorial was asking you to practice on like a regular trash Godric soldier, right? Um, Keep up that energy, especially if this is your first game.
Yeah.
And every little kill is going to count towards towards the level too. It's to tick up. So I prefer this over skill trees. It's just, Assassin's Creed will have 700 skill tree nodes to fill out, but with Elden Ring, it's like you have like over 1,000 of experience points to build up.
Mm-hmm.
And just chip away at that.
Yeah. I would say so. I don't know. This just depends, but my advice also would be not to look anything up and just play and not be so worried about stuff like missing
don't worry.
stuff.
Don't worry about the meta. Don't worry about
Yeah.
the meta. Yeah, make your
Just
mistakes.
play and just make mistakes. Get in there. Don't be afraid to die. Everyone dies. It just happens.
Mhm.
Everyone's like, Souls games are easy. They're not easy when you start. It's because
Mhm.
you got people who have been playing them for a long time. Like,
Mhm.
you're going to die. It's just the way it is. You'll get better, though.
Mhm.
Don't bash your head against the wall. Like Gene was saying, especially at the beginning of the game, you have a lot of options of where to go. If you're stuck on someone for a little
Mhm.
bit, just leave. Go level up. Go kill some stuff. Go explore. Come back later. You can fight them later on. So don't worry about any of that stuff.
Yeah,
But if you do get stuck and you're like very frustrated, sure, you could look something up. But I would recommend not trying to. I know it can be tempting.
that YouTube essayist Never Knows Best was saying that he wasn't having a hard time understanding where to go in the game, and it's like I feel like the game signposted pretty well. If the enemy is pretty hard, then turn around or
Yeah, I would say so too, Gene.
You're not really
that
meant
makes sense
to
me.
bash
If you're
bash
getting
your
your
head
ass
against the wall.
kicked in a zone, like one shot, you're like, okay, I'll come back later.
Yeah.
And they have like the grace you'll see when you play the game. There's like a giant golden path you can follow. That's like the main quest.
Yeah, don't follow that.
Yeah, that's like the main progression. Don't worry about that. You don't have to do that right away. Just explore. Go out there. Go see the world. You're encouraged to explore. You'll have fun doing it. You'll be rewarded for doing it too. But just don't
you'll
get
be so much
discouraged.
stronger if you just go
don't
explore.
Be afraid to come back.
Yeah.
It's all part of the game, man. If you're having a hard time, just leave, come back. It's all part of the fun. Just have a good time. You'll have a good time if you just take those advice. And
at least with Dark Souls, you have to do the same part over and over again. With Elden Ring, the beauty of Elden Ring is that you don't have to do that over and over again. You can just go to another place and start doing that over and over again.
Yeah. Don't worry about your build either. Later on, you can respec several times. So just do what is fun for you right now. I will say health is good, though, always. Health is always good.
You will never go wrong with vigor or stamina.
Yeah, when in doubt, when you don't know what to do, get vigor. Because health is always useful, no matter what build you do. All right, guys. Sorry. Yeah, here we go. This is from Otrant. Hey, dudes. I'm a bit of a bind regarding Elden Ring, and I'm not sure what to do. I initially bought the game on PC and pushed through the stuttering for 100 plus hours before falling off shortly after burning the tree. I then rebought the game on PS5 to get a stutter-free experience, put over 50 hours into it, and once again fell off shortly after burning the tree. That was over a year ago, and I still haven't gone back to beat the game. With the DLC fast approaching, should I restart for a third time and just commit? Should I just continue one of my current saves and power through the end? To the end? Do I even need to beat the main game before playing this DLC?
No.
Any advice would be appreciated. You don't need to beat the main game to play the DLC. You just need to beat a couple bosses. One is Radon, which I'm sure you beat if you're at the tree, and the other is Moog.
He might not.
He might have.
Remember, Radon is also optional too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. He is
Yeah,
optional.
so
So
he could burn a tree and not have beaten Radon. So
yeah.
yeah,
So one of those two.
and which is
You got to
weird
beat
because
those two.
beating Radon is not necessary for finding Moog either.
No,
So it's really
but it's
weird that Radon and Moog both have to be beaten. But yeah, you might not be good or you might be good. Honestly, just go around and explore because it's if you, yeah, if you only have 50 hours, it sounds like you didn't really explore a lot either. So
yeah. You were burning the tree, so you're pretty far in the campaign, dude. Don't start over again, man. I would
don't
just
start
say
over again.
just beat the game or just play one of your characters.
Hmm.
You're gonna get burnt out before you. It sounds like you gotten burnt out twice. You won't make it a third time. Just play
Yeah,
where you're
yeah.
at.
Yeah, if you're already burning out again, then yeah, just play your regular character.
Yeah.
It's not like you're getting any kind of story. You need to rehash a story or anything like that.
Yeah. Just,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Just make sure you do all the steps for the DLC, killing
mhm,
Moog, the real Moog or whatever, and
yeah.
we're done. Then you'll be good to go. But yeah, don't worry about starting over again. All right, this is from We Sail 1996. Hey summoners, I love the Souls games, and I've played most of them 10 plus times, excluding Elden Ring. How do you think Elden Ring stacks up against the others? In my opinion, it doesn't quite reach the heights of DS1 or Bloodborne.
Hmm.
The open world also makes it a massive pain in the ass to replay. Don't get me started on bosses like the Gargoyles or Godskin Duo. Many of the design decisions are questionable, which is something I can't say about any other Souls game excluding 2. It's a great game, but unfortunately, it's not a masterpiece in my eyes. Well, We Sail. Well, I'm sad to say this, but I disagree with you on a lot of that stuff.
Sounds like Never Knows Best actually. So
Yeah.
if you don't know that SAS, watch Never Knows Best. Watch his video. It sounds like you're going to agree with him 100%, and you're not
Mm.
wrong. You're not wrong. I just don't think that the repeating boss fights and like boss fights like the Gargoyles and the Goskin Duo aren't that bad actually.
No, and if you've played these
Yeah,
games a lot, you could probably know you could cheese those Godskin duos pretty easily with
yeah.
sleeping stuff.
Yeah, I would agree that I still think Dark Souls 1 is better, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people think Bloodborne is still better too. Because
Sure.
again,
I think
Bloodborne still has like the better bosses for me. So like if the boss fights are like the experience for you, then yeah, Bloodborne is probably still better, right?
I think Elden Ring's better than Dark Souls 1.
Hmm.
I'd rather play Elden Ring more. I think the bosses are better. A lot of people forget Dark Souls 1 has some kind of shitty bosses too
I
in
love
that
those
game.
shitty bosses, though. I love those
Bed
shitty
of
bosses.
Chaos,
Bed of Chaos,
Jesus.
baby.
Fucking terrible. The Capper Demon's pretty bad. I actually think Seath's pretty bad.
Seath is annoying.
They were great at the time, but it's an old ass game now. Like Nito's like whatever.
Mhm.
What's his name? Ceaseless Discharge. It's just like I think there's a lot of like pretty not great bosses nowadays. They've aged poorly, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And I think the last half of Dark Souls 1 has not aged as gracefully either.
It does shit the bed. It does shit the bed.
I think the first half of that game is awesome, though. Like all the way up to Lordran or New Londo. No,
Yeah.
wait.
And Orlando. And Orlando. Yeah. You're remembering the other names from Dark Souls
like,
3 and
Four
Dark Souls
Kings
2.
is like whatever.
Four
I think
Kings
the DLC
sucked.
is great,
Yeah.
obviously.
Artor. That was when the DLC was really, really cooking because that was their first DLC. And then that's when we realized, oh, From Software can really do amazing DLC.
Yeah.
So Artorias was amazing. That was definitely an instance where the DLC was just better than the original game.
Yeah.
And also, again, made the original game better.
In terms of vibes, I think Bloodborne has the best vibes, for sure. I think it just does not run good, which is a problem, in my opinion. And I do notice it constantly.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Chalice dungeons are okay. I like the idea of them. And I think it's cool that there's optional bosses in there, but I just think there's a lot of missteps also going through them. And I like the Nightmare Frontier. I don't enjoy that. Actually, most of the Nightmare Realms I don't really enjoy, which is a shame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Nightmare Realms. They were so annoying. Oh, my God.
But yeah, I mean, Bloodborne's awesome. And yeah, but I just don't think Elden Ring has as many shitty bosses as people think. There's some of them repeat, obviously, because the game is fucking humongous. So like, there's going to be repeats no matter what. I can't think of a single. I'm sure there are maybe, but an open world game with as much enemy variety as Elden Ring, like I can't think of one. how much variety there is in that game and stuff like that. It's pretty insane. But that's okay. Everyone's got their own tastes in games, so it's totally fine.
I get it. There was a time where I thought Elden Ring was too big, and it's tough for replays. It's only recently in the replays that I'm just doing now where I'm like, you know what, it might be tough to replay, but I'm having no problem replaying it right now. So you might feel the same way too. Give another a shot. Elden Ring is a hell of a game.
Yeah, I think Sekiro might be my favorite of theirs. Maybe. I don't know.
Favorite. It's my least favorite because of Ishin. That's it. That's literally it. It's literally because of it.
I mean, I love the RPG elements in From Software games. I think Sekiro is just cool though because it's very focused on what it does. I'm not saying one's better than the other or anything like that, but I just love that game. But I mean, I love all their games, so like whatever. They're all fucking amazing.
Yeah, Dark Souls 2 too. A lot of things from Dark Souls 2 is in Elden Ring. I consider Elden Ring the sequel to Dark Souls 2.
Sure. I think Dark Souls 2 is fun and I enjoy it. I just think it's the worst game they made out of those.
It is the one that I don't want to replay again. Yeah. I don't like it has some really, really high highs that are even better than I think Dark Souls 3 or even 1, but yeah, it's tough to revisit. Shrine of Amana. I don't want to do that again.
Jeez, good God, dude!
Don't want to do that again.
Nightmare.
I don't want to do it again.
All right, Gene. Let's end this show like we do every episode. Bunch of questions from the audience. We take some throughout the show, if you guys have heard, but we always end every show with just a bunch of questions that could be from anything. First one is from Grant. Hey, Summoners. Do you guys have any multiplayer or live service type games that are mainstays for you as games? Something you play regularly or usually keep on the hard drive? I'm more of a single player guy, but Rainbow Six and Overwatch are the ones I go back to.
Yeah, this was easy for me. Fortnite.
Oh yeah, I have Fortnite also. Yeah, that's a good one.
Fortnite is always installed on my Xbox. It's not really installed on my PC. Fortnite's my Xbox is my Fortnite box. And Fortnite was definitely the multiplayer game for me. I haven't played it in a couple of years actually, like the last 2 years. So I recently started it back up again, and it's so much better actually now.
Yeah.
It's actually way, way better than I ever thought it would be.
Fortnite's a good game.
It's really a good multiplayer online shooter arena game. And there's also a lot of other shit right now too. But I think I'm actually gonna go back into Fortnite a little bit. I was pretty excited to see the improvements. The game looks beautiful. They finally made walking animations for the characters. I was always really, really bummed about that. You're always jogging in place everywhere in Fortnite, and if Fortnite wants to be in a metaverse, why am I running all over the place? So the sprinting animations are amazing. So yeah, Fortnite and also Halo Infinite. I did. I really was hoping Halo Infinite was going to be my replacement for Fortnite. I thought Halo Infinite was going to be the game. I really thought it was going to be the multiplayer game, and it turned out it wasn't. But I still have it on there because I still really, really enjoy playing Halo. Period.
Yeah. So, yeah. I did like Halo Infinite when it came out. I haven't played it since it came out. I heard it's much better now.
It is much better now. But yeah, I'm also just not into it right now. But yeah,
I just remember there was no like Slayer playlist or something when it came out. I was like, what the what the fuck are you doing, man?
What the fuck, dude?
I just want to play Slayer.
There was no Team Slayer playlist. I'm like, oh my god, dude, do you even know how people play your games?
Yeah, it was insane.
Holy
insane
shit.
thing. So I guess Fortnite was the only one I played. I haven't played Fortnite in a little bit though, like a couple seasons have taken off. I'll definitely be back when they add Kingdom Hearts to that shit though. Bet your ass I will be. I will say it's been a while, but the one that used to be for me was Team Fortress 2. I played Team Fortress 2 for years on and off. I loved that game. I mean, it's kind of a shit show now with bots and everything, which sucks. I also played Overwatch 1 a lot when it came out. But other than that, I keep Final Fantasy 14 installed on my hard drive.
Oh, that's right.
I play that every now and then. I actually keep Final Fantasy 11 installed on my hard drive too.
That's crazy.
Just because it's a fucking pain in the ass to set up. So I just leave it on there, even though I haven't played it for like a year. I just leave it on there because I don't want to deal with it anymore. But then other than that, yeah, I don't think anything else right now. All right, this is from Shadi Haddad. Shadi Haddad. Guys, at this time, Rebirth looks to be GOTY and could win at the Game Awards. Looking at the rest of the year, what do you see being a potential GOTY challenger? I don't know. It's weird because we're still so much we don't know what's coming out this year. I feel like like the next half of the year is still kind of a blank slate in a lot of ways. Like Xbox, we know some of their stuff, like Indiana Jones, apparently Avowed. I feel like that would get delayed though, just because like don't put it close to Indiana Jones. Don't do that. Let them breathe. I don't know because Nintendo we don't really know yet. We'll know later next month probably. And Sony, we still don't know really either. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, right now, even third parties, we don't know a ton.
We don't know a lot right now. It seems like off the top of my head. I'm sure there's probably something I just can't think of off the top of my head. I'd have to look at a release schedule. But for me, it's easily Rebirth. I don't think Final Fantasy games outside of 14 would be popular, though, with like that voting community. Like, do you vote on the Game Awards? I used to.
I don't. Okay. I'm not allowed to.
Oh, okay, because of the
Washington Post won't allow me. Yeah.
Got it. But yeah, I just wonder.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm looking at the most anticipated games of 24 on GameSpot, and there's nothing, man. There's not a lot coming out right now.
Yeah, I was trying to look at what I've played this year. As soon as this thing
Indiana Jones, Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah, maybe.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Star Wars Outlaws, yeah.
Maybe Hades 2 if they finish it this year. I don't know.
Yeah, Hades 2 could be definitely one I could see.
Yeah.
I don't think Stellar Blade would, as much as I enjoy Stellar Blade.
No, I don't think Stellar Blade would. Yeah. Hellblade, no.
Maybe Dragon's Dogma would get nominated. I don't know
maybe,
if that
but I actually don't like Dragon's Dogma 2 as much anymore.
I didn't like it as much as I was hoping I was going to.
Yeah, I thought so too. It was really, really good at the start, and then like the more you play it, you're like, man.
It's it's a good game, no doubt. But I don't know, it didn't give me that feeling I wanted.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I still like the combat more than Elden Ring, to be quite honest. And my take is that I don't think the FromSoft combat is that good. I think the combat is good enough, and then the world design, and characters, and the level design, and like the powers and everything like that, like all of that makes what the Souls game is excellent, right? But I don't think the combat is that good. So I think Dragon's Dogma 2 has excellent combat, but the rest of the game just falls short, I think.
Yeah,
story fucking sucks. Stellar fucking Hellblade story is better, I think. Hellblade and Stellar Blade. So
that's funny. If Hollow Knight comes out this year, I could see it being nominated if it lives up, if its potential is there. But yeah, the rest of the year is still a big mystery in a lot of ways. Be very curious to see what comes out. We know Elden Ring DLC is gonna be good, but that's not eligible for Game of the Year unless Keeley just decides to change his mind about what is eligible, because it'll be in DLC or expansion or ongoing game or something.
It is $40, but yeah.
And Final Fantasy 14 will probably be nominated for that as well with Dawn Trail.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Elden Ring can win Best Ongoing Game.
Yeah.
This is fucking Cyberpunk won it last year.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
That's so stupid.
Like, why not just have an expansion category or a DLC category? I don't know.
Hey, whatever. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Maybe. Hey.
Maybe.
China Assassin's Creed game, get it?
But maybe. I doubt
Final Fantasy hasn't gotten it either, so there's that,
I know, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Which sucks, man. Like, you know what pisses me off about this whole Hellblade discourse is that everyone's like, oh, but I think Hellblade 2 is a lock-in for best performance. No, it isn't, man. You know what's lock-in for best performance? Fucking Cody as Cloud or Brianna White as Aerith, They actually act. They're actually acting in different emotions, and they actually have to change their voice in a way where you have to like wonder, like you have to read into what they're saying,
Yeah, I don't think mocap is like a guarantee that you should be nominated.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's just like a cheat code because the mocap is so good, you know.
Yeah.
You know, no, you just had good cameras. That's the performance, you know.
She will be nominated, but I don't know if she'll win.
Yeah, of course she'll be nominated because we have fucking shitty tastes as an industry, you know. But you know, she's not good as an actress, man. It's you know, just her screaming and crying is not acting, man.
Yeah.
That's not what it is. But
Let's go,
you know,
Cody as
but
Cloud.
every reviewer and every YouTuber is gonna be like, "Oh, the performance though, it's really, really good, and it's a lot the best performance." No, man. So that's where I see like there's an anti like Final Fantasy, anti JRPG bias because it's like you can't think of the Final Fantasy characters having great performances. They were fucking phenomenal for performances. They're the whole reason why Rebirth story is so fucking good. You know.
Yeah, the characters are such a huge part of those games.
Yeah.
Like I think in Final Fantasy 16, the characters are such a big deal. It's like, come on, guys. But yeah.
Yeah, this is how bad the JRPG bias is. Fucking Ben Starr didn't even win best performance. You know.
I know. Like the guy that won as starring is great. He's
yes,
awesome.
Ben Starr was Neil Newbon is fantastic. I get it, but you know,
Ben, I felt his performance so hard.
Yeah,
he was so good, man.
Yeah, he carried that game too. You know,
he was so good in it, man. Shout out, Ben. All right, this is from Derek Beek. Hello, Goon Squad. Why do you like to play video games over other forms of entertainment? Recently, a friend has been really pushing me to get into watching sports, and I just really don't care. Sure, I played sports all throughout my youth, but I just do not care about watching any live sports. While the answer might suffice, I'm trying to get to the root of why I actually like video games and movies over other forms of entertainment. I'd like to say that they're more fun and engaging, but I feel those are very surface level thoughts that don't get to the root of what makes the art I enjoy so compelling. What do you fellow edgers have to say? Well, it sounds like to me, which was a strength of video games, is it's interactive art. You know, you're not passive in it. You're not just sitting there watching. You're actually interacting with it. That's why I like it, and that's why so many other people like it. Let's see.
That's other forms of entertainment? The other night I was thinking about, you know, I just got this new fancy like theater seat, right? So I was like, you know, maybe I could just sit back and just watch a movie, you know. And I have Oppenheimer on 4K, so I was like, yeah, maybe I should watch Oppenheimer. This is a badass movie. And I was like, I could just play Elden Ring though. And I just did that instead, you know. Or like, it's like, oh yeah, if I want to see an atomic explosion, I could just play Fallout 4, you know, and just do that, you know, have a good time there.
Yeah, that's true.
I can make my own atomic explosion, you know. That's it's powerful.
You can actually do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Derek, you just in games you can do stuff that's different instead of just sitting there watching it. When there's nothing wrong with just watching entertainment and being passive in it, it's great. But I personally like to interact with it more. And I think that's why you like it. And even if the things you think are surface level, it's like they're still true. You say that they're more fun and engaging. I think that's totally fine because you're having fun interacting with them and actually doing it is engaging. But other forms of entertainment, I watch stuff every now and then. I don't watch like TV really or anything, but I watch movies every now and then and some shows. I was watching the Batman again because I'd only seen it once.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, like, I love Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne in Batman. I think he was great in it.
Yeah, I also have that on 4K. That was another movie I thought about watching.
I need the 4K. I was watching it like streaming, dude, and I was like, man, I could really fucking tell this is streaming.
Hell yeah, dude. That's why I buy like the really good movies on physical. You know?
Yeah, I need to buy that. It's probably pretty cheap somewhere, so I should just buy that. Because like, I definitely notice it.
Yeah, I listen to music sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
But I stopped listening to music for a while. I've only just started to listen to music more because I do Apple Music, so I've been kind of doing that.
Yeah, that's what I have too.
Yeah, I don't really watch a lot of TV. You know, I watch Fallout. I do want to watch X-Men, but I kind of don't want to sign up for Disney Plus. So I'm just kind of waffling on that for a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise I don't really watch like, you know, movies too. I should be watching more movies. You know, like Godzilla -1, like Barbie. Those are movies I should have watched in the theaters, but I just didn't. All
right, this is from Mark Siofi. Greetings, fellow Summonussi eaters. I've noticed in the past 5 or so years that there's been a trend of indie and itch.io games, mostly in the horror space, having the aesthetics and visuals of a PS1 era game. Usage of simple low polygons, downgrading the visuals of the game with various kind of CRT like filters, and even using dithering to emulate the specific aesthetic. At first, I really welcomed it and thought it was cool when Murder House and Bloodborne PSX first came out. But now I'm starting to feel some fatigue. Signalis was a game I liked, but felt the visuals were a bit annoying to look at. I almost didn't play Crow Country once I saw the visuals for it, but being a hardcore fan of traditional survival horror, I gave it a shot, thankfully, and loved it. Am I alone in feeling this way? I do like the style visuals. Mega Man Legends is one of my favorite looking games, but now I'm almost scoffing whenever I see a new game with that style. Thanks for the great podcast, Brad and Gene. Keep on gooning on, you gooning connoisseur.
Damn, I'm already getting tired of the style. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
In terms of the style, I think it's just a trend. This has been going on in horror games, especially in the indie space for a while, like Mark said.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a trend. You know, when indie games came out on the 360 days, everything was like 8-bit for a while. But it is definitely a trend that's just come back. And I think a lot of people think of horror games, they think of PS1, especially developers now, because they think of Silent Hill 1, they think of Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3.
Clock Tower, Silent Hill.
Tower, yeah.
Yeah.
So they definitely think of that, and it's a nice throwback to a lot of stuff. Like when you think of like people who make like a Mega Man-esque game, it's often very 8 or 16-bit looking. It's just something that kind of goes well together.
Yeah, Shovel Knight. Yeah, with
exactly.
Mega Mans, with your Mega Mans and your whatever.
Yeah. In terms of being tired of it, I guess I can totally see that. It doesn't really bother me right now, but I might get to that point eventually. Who knows? But I don't know. To me, there's just so many goddamn indie games. It doesn't even matter. Especially, I mean, there's a lot of horror indie games too, but I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. What do you think, Gene? Does it bother you at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that a lot of indie games are horror games too. And we know by now that the horror genre is fairly niche. So niche that even Dead Space didn't meet the standards for EA success. So it's really Resident Evil. Mostly, you know. That's the horror blockbuster in the game
mainstream
space.
Horror, big blockbuster.
Yeah, so it's I think it's healthy. I'm a little surprised that you're already tired of the aesthetic, because I feel like the aesthetic is only really starting to get going in the last few years.
Yeah, well, it sounds like if they're on itch.io, there's a lot of indie games and stuff on there. Like
PS1, I guess if that's all you're seeing, then yeah.
If you're like really into that scene, you're probably getting burnt out on it. But the vast majority of people probably aren't even aware of a lot of that.
Yeah. I'm delighted. I still like the aesthetic. If games still look like PS2 games today, I'd still be super happy. You know?
Yeah.
I'm definitely not one of those. Well, my PS5 is for the technology, blah 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 games or whatever like that. No, if the games still look like PS2, I'd be perfectly happy. I'd be so happy, and we'd be getting games a lot faster, wouldn't we? You know,
we probably would. Probably would if games were less complicated.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not tired of it. I totally get though if you are, Mark. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
All right. Our final question from GameSimp. Gents, what are your unpopular opinions within your favorite gaming franchise? For example, I think Mario Sunshine is the best Mario game. I love Resident Evil 6 as an action game, and I think open world Zelda kind of sucks. Mario, Resident Evil, and Zelda are three of my favorite franchises, but these takes definitely differ from the norm. I look forward to hearing your own blasphemous proclamations. I hear a lot of people say Resident Evil 6 is a good action game. You're not the only one. I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah, I love it.
I think Resident Evil 6 sucks ass as just a game in general. I really dislike it. I think the encounters are super boring in that game.
Mm-hmm.
But there is definitely some fun tech you can do in there for an action game. Absolutely.
The game definitely has like a large chunk of the game has some terrible encounters, and the worst part of it is that it repeats those encounters.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like the worst encounters are repeated, which is crazy. You know.
Yeah.
So
it's a wild game.
Yeah, but yeah, if as long as you recognize that there's some good tech and like good combat action there, then that's
Sure.
pretty
Yeah.
much it. That's the takeaway, honestly. So
Yeah.
everything else is just like depends on your speed on it. So
Gene, favorite, what do you think some unpopular opinions of your favorite gaming franchises?
I'm trying to think. I guess my hottest take would be the opposite of what you said, in that I am very very glad that Zelda is no longer a formulaic
Mm.
dungeon series. I was waiting for the series to stop doing this. Basically, ever since ever since after Majora's Mask. Basically, after Majora's Mask, I was like, okay, I think that formula is good. I'm ready for something else. And then they came out with Wind Waker. I'm like, okay, that was interesting. That was different. The boat was cool. And they went back to Twilight Princess. I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
that's not what I wanted. Although I do think, and I've said many times again, I revisited Twilight Princess and I loved it. But I'm actually glad that Zelda went away from that formula.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Skyward Sword was the kind of the time where they had to try something different.
That's right. Skyward Sword was the one that kind of pushed it, for a lot of people,
Hmm.
including me. And I still love Skyward Sword in general too. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, with Zelda, it's weird. I think the open world stuff's really good. I love the open world in Zelda. I'm
yeah,
totally fine with going whatever order you want. I just think the dungeons themselves have been disappointing overall,
hmm
especially in Breath of the Wild. I think Tears of the Kingdom was better, but I just
oh
think they're
sure,
lacking compared to the past ones, and they need to.
yeah.
I wish they would focus on it more.
Yeah, and that's why Elden Ring is so fantastic, right? In that Elden Ring's dungeon quality did not suffer at all.
Hmm.
Stormveil Castle is as cool as a Demon Souls castle, as a Dark Souls castle, as a Dark Souls 3 castle. So that was the tremendous. I think that's why Elden Ring is just one of the best games of all time. The fact that they were able to keep that balance. Even fucking
Yeah.
Zelda couldn't do it. Even Zelda couldn't figure out how to do a legacy dungeon in the open world.
Right.
They kind of
Yeah.
did it with the sky dungeon, the sky palace in Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, the boat one
Yeah, the boats, that was
or the
cool.
water one?
The boat one,
Okay.
the one flying up in
Yeah.
the tornado,
Yeah.
that was really cool. That was probably the most unique and the most successful of their dungeons and open world type
Sure. Yeah.
experiments. But Elden Ring got it. Elden Ring was able to make those
Hmm.
dungeons.
Yeah. With Zelda, I think the best ideas are honestly just in the shrines.
Mm-hmm.
The shrines have like all the best ideas, and I wish the dungeons had stuff like that more.
For sure.
Um, Controversial here for Kingdom Hearts series. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is one of the best,
Mm.
if not the best game in the entire series. Everyone loves 2 the most. And I think 2 is fantastic. I love 2 also, don't get me wrong, but
Mm.
I think 3 is underrated and gets too much hate.
I guess for me, Final Fantasy 15 is like my third favorite Final Fantasy, which is wild for a lot
Oh,
of
okay.
people.
Yeah.
So,
That is
that's what,
interesting.
I wouldn't call it my
Yeah.
favorite though. That's for sure.
I
So,
still need to play the Royal Edition someday because
the
I know
Royal
they
Edition
changed a
was
lot.
the Royal Edition was the one that bumped it up all the way
Yeah.
to that high up. If without the
Whenever,
Royal Edition, no, it would not be that high up
yeah,
at all.
whenever I hope they re-release it. Well, I know it's on PC. Maybe I can play it on there next time.
Yeah, the Windows Edition, really good.
Yeah. Any other hot takes or unpopular opinions, I guess, for franchises we love? I'm trying to think.
I
I
think
don't
that's
think
it
I
for
have
me.
any really for like Souls games. I don't think
Yeah,
so. For Final Fantasy, I don't really have any. I don't know. Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
no.
I don't know. I just thought I guess I was definitely alone in this for a long time. I thought Borderlands sucked.
Mm,
I hated those games.
mm.
But they've definitely, at least in like the public court or whatever, they're not as hype anymore.
Yeah, I hate the writing in
Yeah, I
Borderlands.
hated the writing
I
so
hate the
much.
writing.
I hated it.
Even Borderlands 1, I didn't like the writing that much. It got worse in 2 and 3. So
Oh my god, too. Yeah,
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I didn't
But
like 2, but yeah, people fucking love Borderlands 2. I did not like Borderlands 2. So,
but yeah, I know a lot of people loved it, and I'm not
yeah.
saying the game plays bad or anything like that. I just could
Yeah,
not
of
stand the
course. Yeah.
writing.
But I just couldn't I just can't stand the vibes are just totally off for me.
Yeah,
So,
just not my thing whatsoever. Mario. I'm trying to think of a Mario take. Do I have a Mario take that's unpopular? I don't know.
Not really.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't.
Mario,
It's like,
I mean, Mario Sunshine is good too. So
yeah, I mean, I
I don't
like
know.
Mario Sunshine. I think it's good. It's
Yeah,
not my favorite 3D Mario game, but I think it's good.
yeah.
I don't know. Hard to say. Whatever. That's okay. We don't have to think about it too hard. Gene, that's it. We did it. Just a very intimate episode with just us two. This is the first ever 2-man summon sign.
Yeah,
History made right here today.
we
But
spent a good chunk of it in Elden Ring.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining me.
The source of our name show too.
Yeah, totally.
Our
That's
show's
where it all
name.
came from. Gene, thank you for joining me,
Yeah.
man. I appreciate it. Everyone listening, if you haven't heard yet, I don't know what you're doing. Listen to Punching Up. Gene is on that every other week with Dustin and Micah. They do good stuff. That is our Nintendo podcast. It's gonna be very exciting. Dustin better have me on if there's some Zelda announcements, or I'm gonna be offended because he needs to sort that shit out. All right, Dustin, you hear me? I know you're listening. You son of a bitch. Gene, any parting words before we go, or should we just get the hell out of here?
No, thanks for having me. Good times.
Yes. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We will see you guys next week for the next episode. Game season's coming, baby, for announcements. So please be excited. All right. See you next episode. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.
Adios.
Summon Sign is a product of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Brad Ellis. The show is produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Summon Sign, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we are grateful for your kind contribution and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.